And what's going on, guys? We are live on YouTube right now. Hey, welcome. First off, let's welcome to the spot, James. How you doing, James?
Michael, I'm doing so well. So great to see you, my friend. How are you?
Good to see you too, man. So tell me, where are you right now? You in Australia right now?
No, I'm in Medellin, Colombia. I'm based here most of the year, and I got my retreat happening this week. I got some of my clients flying in from the US to spend 4 days here in Medellin. It's going to be amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah, my family's from Medellin. Very cool, man. So why did you choose Colombia? I'm always interested when I see. Obviously, you're a world traveler. Why did you choose there?
Well, I first came here in 2009. I was actually in Buenos Aires, Argentina, learning some Spanish as a result of reading Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Work Week. He was kept talking about Buenos Aires. And when I was in Buenos Aires, candidly, all the guys there were like, oh, you got to go to Medellin, Colombia, because the women are beautiful. And so being a single man at the time, I said, okay, I'll go check it out. And I went there 2009, fell in love with the place, the weather, the people, the culture. And I've just been coming back and forth from there ever since. And now I love it because it's on an East Coast time zone, and I do a lot of business from here in the United States. And yeah, just the people, the culture, the weather, it's incredible.
It is pretty great. And it's at a high altitude. It's really, really nice. So James, for my audience who's not familiar with you, obviously you and I met, I believe, through Ty Lopez, who's the first person who introduced us. And I think I was on your podcast, man, like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think I was on your podcast. Hey man, Ebimo, bro. Sorry about that, guys. Go ahead and unmute yourself again, James.
Yeah, sure.
So I had you guys, or you had me on your podcast a million years ago. You may have been the first podcast I was ever on. We did an audio recording. Check it out, guys. If you guys have ever left, this is before podcasts were on video. If you guys have ever been to Hakkasan, we were walking down the staircase of Hakkasan and we did an interview there, like on the staircase at Hakkasan. It was pretty cool. So anyway,
you know what's funny, Michael? Yeah.
I
was looking in my phone just before and I typed in Las Vegas and I found a photo of you and me, January 18, 2015. I'm going to see it.
That's it. That was it. That was the photo that you guys used for the podcast episode. I remember that. That was the one right there. I remember that. We took a picture there and then we did an interview in the nightclub, like in the staircase. I mean, it was very different back then because we were using like our cell phones for it and there was no video podcast. So that was pretty interesting just to see that you've been doing that all that time. James, can you talk to the people about some of the successes you have? I know you've had several businesses become extremely successful. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in this program. There are several men here, women here trying to level up. And obviously, one of the things we teach in the MOA course, pillar 2 is entrepreneurships. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So as you can tell from my accent, I'm Australian American, and I moved to the US in 2002, and I was always the guy that had a job. So I was a journalist in another world, a newspaper magazine reporter. I used to interview movie stars as a Hollywood correspondent all through the early 2000s. Then in 2010, I stopped drinking alcohol and I got clarity and focus and energy. And I became a sports center anchor on ESPN, which was amazing. And I was paid very handsomely. I hosted that show for 2 years, but it was still a job and I was still working for corporate America because ESPN was owned by Disney. And so you're still in this kind of corporate American culture. And so I really wanted to break out and become an entrepreneur. And so I took a risk and I quit that job at ESPN. And candidly, I really struggled for a couple of years from 2012 through 2014. I went from being paid multiple 6 figures as an employee of ESPN to making about $30,000 over 2 years as an online entrepreneur. And then in 2015, I was in a business mastermind. I met Ty Lopez and I went to one of his events and I paid him $25,000 to mentor me over the course of 18 months. And in that time, I built 2 businesses. One of them was called the 30-Day No Alcohol Challenge, which was just this little online program, which I sold for $67, which helped people to take a 30-day break from alcohol. And the other one was I started a blue light blocking glasses business. And I've still got both of those businesses to this day. And I'm wearing a pair of my Swannies blue light blocking glasses right now, which block out the blue light, help you to sleep better and feel better during the day, give you more clarity. And in the first year that I built that business, we did $1 million in sales, which was pretty amazing right out of the gate. And then the stop drinking business has really evolved over the years now, where I'm helping mostly entrepreneurs and executives to have a better relationship with alcohol so they can generate clarity and focus and energy and really perform better. Both of those are 7-figure businesses. They have big impact in the world. It's just an extension of who I am, really. Like, I love being clear and focused, and I love being in personal development. And so both of those businesses, which are in the health industry, helping people really feel in alignment to me. And a lot of people say, you should really build a business out of your passion. I'm not so sure about that. I just build a business out of what I like to do, how I like to live my life. And as long as I'm building businesses which are helping people, support people, and I'm interested in, I feel really in alignment with everything that I'm doing in the entrepreneurial world. So that's just a little overview as to what I do.
So there's a couple of things that are great here. So because a lot of times, with my business, because there's so much nightclub stuff, there's so much partying, there's so many Playboy Mansion, Maxim Party, people assume I drink and do drugs. I've never tried any drug in my life. And I had my first sip of alcohol when I was 35. I've never been drunk, and I've never had more than 2 drinks in one night in my entire life. I think, I don't like alcohol. I've been trying to push this agenda to a lot of guys here. James, I know you're just sitting there talking about alcohol. I'm just talking about myself. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but it's when you see these guys who start getting drunk on their own, or they go out somewhere with their buddies to get your men getting drunk with other men for no other reason than to get drunk, or dudes like go to clubs and do cocaine by themselves in the bathroom. At that point, you're not being social. At that point, it's a fucking problem, or it's a crutch that you have going on. And when you talk about the clarity, guys are so confused when I say I go out by myself. I don't need a big group of people. I go out by myself. I go to a club. I stand on stage, and I don't drink anything, and I have a great fucking time. It's hard for people to do that because they're not comfortable with themselves. And that's one of the pieces of clarity I'm assuming you get when you decide to stop drinking. But yeah, not drinking, James, it's a big message that's starting to get pushed in the manosphere a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, to be clear, I was never what you would deem an alcoholic. I was a socially acceptable drinker right up until 2010, when I was 35 years old. And by socially acceptable, I had a drink or two most nights of the week. And on weekends, I would drink a bit more. I'd watch the American football, and I'd, go out with friends, and I'd go to some bars and things like that. Sometimes I'd get drunk, but most of the time I was just drinking a glass of wine here or there, a couple of beers. It was fine. But what I realized was that my sleep wasn't great. I was getting irritable very easily. I was carrying about 20 pounds of unwanted body weight. I was just kind of blah. I was like a 6 out of 10, I was like feeling like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. I was just like blah. And in 2010, I was at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas. And I had 2 Bombay Sapphire gin and tonics, went to bed, woke up the next morning, and I looked in the mirror, and I just went, man, just take a break, for goodness sake, and see what happens. And in those 30 days, I lost 13 pounds of fat. I slept better. And here's the most interesting thing. I attracted a much higher caliber of person into my life, both romantic relationships and guys. And the conversations had more depth to it. And so I liked the experience so much, I just decided I'm going to keep on going. And what I found over the first year and many years after that is that I started spending time with just nicer people, more agreeable people who had a lot of substance to them. I had more fun. I could hang out with Michael. By the time I met Michael in 2015, we're going to Las Vegas. He and I had a wonderful time, and both of us didn't touch a drop of alcohol. And I have the most fun being alcohol free compared to all the fun I had when I was drinking. So I've had a life with alcohol, a life without. I can say without is so much more fun, so much more enjoyable. You get more done, you build businesses, you make better connections. And for me, it's just the only way to live now.
Yeah. I'm not a teetotaler. I understand that if I have like a couple hundred people in a room and nobody's drinking, it's not going to be as fun. I'm fully aware of that. The problem is, do you need it to have fun? That's where things get problematic. Another thing is, we've talked about this. I have certain female friends who've told me that they can't have sex with a dude on the first time unless they are drunk the first time. I feel like that's kind of an unnecessary crutch and sort of a bad foundation for a relationship. If you need to be drunk, you need to be fucked up every time you have sex with a dude on the first try. And for a lot of men, they have trouble speaking and getting into one of the things I did, we've talked about on this program, what Pickup got wrong. One of the things Pickup got right is this whole thing where you're like basically learning how to talk to a wall. There were like these things you would do before you'd go out, where you'd get into a talkative of state with your friend, or you just start talking to a wall, you just go off and just improv with one another, and then take that talkative state with you, that momentum with you into social interactions. That's what you're trying to get from the alcohol. Except from the alcohol, you're trying to overcome the fear that you have from other people, knowing what, caring what other people think about you. There's books about this, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Guys, if you chose to not really give a shit what other people thought about you, you wouldn't need to drink. You really wouldn't. But again, I'm not saying don't drink. I know some of you guys are going to drink. Some of my friends are super funny when they drink. I know some girls that are fucking blast when they drink. It's just when you take it to excess, you start packing on the pounds and you get into a situation where it becomes a crutch. Okay. So that's one of the things in this program, it's health, wealth, and relationships. That's the reason why we talk about that so much. Does anybody, if you guys want to admit it, if you've ever had a problem where you would like to drink less, put a 1 in the chat. If you ever feel like, man, maybe I would like to drink less, put a 1 in the chat. Katie would like to drink less. Katie's fun when she drinks. I'm not going to lie. Katie gets fun. Katie's pretty fun. Anybody else? You would like to drink less. Okay, cool. So James, you said you have some kind of program coming up. What is that? What is the program?
Yeah, so I help mostly executives, entrepreneurs to stop drinking, or at least to stop drinking for at least 90 days. And the University of Washington is now doing a scientific study on our 90-day stop drinking process starting February the 1st. We've got 140 spots for people who are ready to stop drinking for at least 90 days and have their results studied by the University of Washington and the University of Florida. Our coaching really helps people to rewire their mindset around alcohol. We're going to show you how to socialize and have fun without alcohol. We're going to show you how to handle situations where maybe your friends are interrogating you about the fact that you're not drinking alcohol. We're going to show you how to do business deals without having to take clients or prospective clients out to booze-filled lunches. Wait,
hold on, no. I got to take my clients to 11 though in Miami with the strippers though, don't I? We have to do cocaine in the bathroom. Sorry, hold on. We're already demonetized. Fuck it. We're gonna go do cocaine in the bathroom, right? Okay, and then we're gonna go to 11, start talking to a bunch of strippers. Right. And then we close the deal. That's how business gets done. Isn't that right? No, is that not it? That's what I thought, bro, for the longest time. That is what I thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's cultural conditioning for you, right? Like this has been built up over decades that's what you need in order to get business done and network, but nothing could be further from the truth. I'll tell you this, probably in 2 decades from now, maybe sooner, but in 2 decades from now, my prediction is we're going to look back on alcohol with the same level of disdain we look on cigarettes right now. Because you'll remember in the 30s, 40s, 50s, all the doctors were encouraging you to smoke. There were these billboards and ads of doctors saying they recommend Lucky Strikes, this ridiculous thing. And now we look back and go, what were we thinking? I'm telling you, my prediction is 20 years. It might be sooner. It might be a little bit later. We're going to look back and go, what were we doing drinking this attractively packaged poison? What were we thinking?
Look at Liz drinking water. Hold on, Liz, can you drink some more water for us? Can you put some? Liz is going to drink some water for us.
I have a Sunshia. Can you see?
Okay, look, guys, I want everyone to watch the Playmate drink water real quick. Go ahead, drink water for us again real quick, Liz.
Drink water? Okay,
yes, drink water for us. Okay, guys, this is why you don't need to drink alcohol. You need to burn this into your head if you're having an issue with this. Babe, we're on YouTube, so make sure you don't pull out anything more than that. I appreciate that. All right, awesome. Cool. Katie, go get some water to drink. Let's get all these people drinking water. Keep going, James.
Yeah, so if anyone here has been thinking about taking a break from alcohol and getting some professional coaching around stopping drinking alcohol for at least 90 days. You got to commit to not drink for 90 days, right? And we're going to show you how to do it. We're going to hold you accountable. You have to be over the age of 30. You have to be either in full-time employment or an entrepreneur in order to qualify to participate, because the University of Washington is specifically looking at workplace outcomes. How productive do you get when you stop drinking for 90 days? Is there a big breakthrough in your performance when you stop drinking with support for 90 days? I've just posted a link there in the chat for anyone here who's on Zoom. The link is alcohol-free lifestyle. Whoops, I did it wrong. Let me just send it again here. Hang on. Let me get the exact.
No, it looks like you got it. You got it. Hold on.
Yeah.
I think you.
So alcoholfreelifestyle.com/study, and I've put Sartain there because Sartain's the king. He's the man. Just so you know.
But if is that James, is that how you have it written correctly? That's because that's not how my name is spelled. If that's correct, then hold on. Let me make sure.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just, if you can delete that and I'll put.
No, that's fine. Leave it. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Let me just make sure it's going through to the right spot. 1 second here. So yeah, if you let me just give me 1 minute here and I'll make sure I got the correct link in here for you guys. Okay. I don't want to put the wrong one, but just to go over that. If you've been thinking about stopping drinking for a while and you'd like to get support, or maybe you've been stuck candidly in the stop start cycle where you stop for a week or two and you feel really good, but then you return to drinking and it becomes a bit too much, then consider doing this. Okay, let me put the correct link in here. And if you end up booking a call to talk to us about it, just tell us that you came from this YouTube or from this Zoom call. Just let us know that you came from Michael's community, okay? So the link is alcoholfreelifestyle.com/study. All the details there on that link. The way to apply is to just fill out a short little form, book a call. We'll give you a call, see if you qualify, talk you through it. And then possibly, you'll enroll or you won't enroll. There's only 140 spots. We start February the 1st. This is a really great opportunity for anyone here who wants to experiment with being 90 consecutive days alcohol-free.
All right, cool. I posted it in the YouTube and I posted it here. Guys, next thing I want you to do, raise your hands if you have questions for James. Also, if you have questions for Liz or for Katie, if you have questions also. I also put Tristan on here because every week we get questions about sales jobs. Every week we get questions about working in MOA and how we do some stuff. So I got Tristan on here to help with that. Also, Gashard is asking, ask that question live. Raise your hand. That's a really good question. I was thinking the same thing. We have first one here from Michael. Michael, what's your question?
Hey, yo, what's up, guys? James, I have a question.
What's going on, Michael?
About, so when you first starting your business, you're doing a program and you're reaching out to clients, right? What is the most effective way for you to generate more leads and reach out to your leads with a higher return rate?
Well, at the moment, I'll tell you, at the moment, we're doing Facebook advertising. So I'm spending advertising dollars to get in front of people. I'm offering a free guide, which is an alcohol freedom formula guide. They get on the list and then we nurture them. I give them lots of amazing content. I try to get them on my podcast, which is called Alcohol Free Lifestyle Podcast. It's in Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. I give them. Hey,
I didn't know. Hey, man, have me on your podcast, man. I didn't know you had a podcast about that, dude. Let's do that. I had no idea.
Yeah, I'd love to have you, Michael. I'm going to send you a calendar link for it, and you can book, and we'll get on there for sure. The time, Michael, is it Michael? Yeah, I'm going to answer your question. At the time when I first launched my 30-day no alcohol challenge, all I did was I posted it on my Facebook page. And I said, hey, I've just done this 30-day no alcohol challenge. If anyone wants to stop drinking for 30 days, here's a basic sales page or a landing page. I did some information, click on it. And if you're interested, enroll, right? That was it. That was the only thing I did. And I remember on Super Bowl Sunday, 2015, I got a notification that I'd made my first sale and it was $67. And I remember it was like it was in the second quarter of the Super Bowl. And I was like, oh my God, someone just bought my 30-day no alcohol challenge. And it was just because I'd posted it on my Facebook page. So that was very, very simple. Then from there, what I did is I reached out to all the people I knew and I asked them, could you please post this on your Facebook page? In fact, I became an ask hole in the sense that I just asked and asked and asked my friends to post it. After a few months of this,
I became an ask hole.
An ask hole. An ask hole.
You don't ask, you don't get. An ask hole. Okay, got it.
Yeah, an ask hole. Yeah. I made unreasonable requests, right? Because how many times do we stop ourselves from taking action because we let reasons get in the way? So I felt resistance about approaching people like Tai Lopez and saying, hey, gosh, gee, Shocks, could you please post my 30-day no alcohol challenge on your Instagram one time? Could you please post this? But I just got used to the idea of like, some people will say no, some people will say yes, but they're not going to say yes if I don't ask them. So I just, in my mind, I said, be an ask hole and make unreasonable requests. And that's what I did. And then over time, people would post this and then other people would see it and sales would come in. And then after that, I started to get interviewed on podcasts about stopping drinking alcohol. And that introduced me to a new audience. Then Psychology Today reached out and published an article about our process. I remember I got on Dave Asprey's Bulletproof Radio at the time. He asked me about the Swannies glasses, and overnight we went from like 6 or 7 sales a day to 50 sales a day just because I was on that one podcast. And then it kind of grew from there. So I think in the beginning, it's just do whatever you can, get the word out there, and go from there. It's funny you're showing me on this Instagram here, Michael, because on TikTok, some of these videos have now got 4 million views. I posted a video 7 days ago and I got 4 million views on it, which is insane to me. And there's a few others that got more than 2 million as well. I don't know what it is about TikTok. The algorithm seems to like certain videos. Yeah. Does that help you, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, anything. Yeah, that's great, man. We're guys. Do you guys have any specific questions for him? I'm going to pull up his TikTok right now. I'm assuming that's your TikTok.
Yeah, that's my TikTok. Yeah,
I can pull it here.
Anyone got any questions? I'm happy to answer them for you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, James. And just another side question, not really related to entrepreneurship. So I know you're from Australia. And so Michael interviewed another guy named Rich Cooper, and he's from Canada. So he said he really wants to leave the Western country, and you are now in Colombia. So what's your thoughts on, Western society being very kind of woke? I was just saying Australia, and it's also very woke, but I do like the country itself. So do you think your country itself is kind of, fucked, or is still, livable?
You're talking about Australia in particular?
Yeah.
So, how do I answer this? Okay. I'm a proud Australian. I love my country. I was there for part of the pandemic, and what I saw shocked me in terms of the draconian lockdowns, closing the borders. I mean, I had to apply to the Australian government to leave the country. I mean, I literally, to leave Australia, I had to write a letter to the government and say, may I please leave the country? And they had to give me permission. So at the time, I was shaking my head going, this is crazy. However, I will say this, my parents, my cousins, most of my friends who'd been living in Australia most of that time were like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, we shouldn't leave the country. Yeah, we should be locked down. Yeah, we should do all these kind of things. Now, I don't want to make this a whole big political thing, but it was interesting to me because I've lived most of my life abroad. So I've been exposed to different cultures, different ways of thinking. I've been living in the US for 20 years. And so for me to go back to my native country and be locked down there for a year and have friends and family that I grew up with, most of them kind of like agreeing with the lockdowns, that was really surprising to me. I'm not going to say it was either right or wrong. I'm just going to say I was surprised at that. Now, candidly, I was in the state of Queensland, and our border was cut off, but we didn't have nearly as many lockdowns as the state of Victoria. Probably all the stuff that you saw from Australia where people were like upset and there's lockdowns, that was really mostly in one state, and that's the state of Victoria. And in particular, the city of Melbourne, they were so locked down, it was crazy. So I was a bit lucky in Queensland where it wasn't as bad, but even I was shocked to see how many lockdowns they had, the ferocity of that, the mindset of people that, no, we shouldn't be leaving the country, and absolutely we're not letting anyone in. Personally, I thought it was surprising, but there you go. I hope that answers your question without getting too political.
Yeah.
Before we go on, I got to read this comment here. The moneymaker here says, I'm just here to watch Liz walk around her house. Shout out to all the people on YouTube right now who are watching this. Thank you guys. Liz, you are we're about to get a strike, but it's all good. Michael, does that answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, guys.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
hey,
Michael.
Let's go to Raj. Raj, what's your question?
Can you hear me, Mike?
Hello.
Can you guys hear
Raj,
me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Raj. What's the question, buddy?
Sorry, I was driving. Question for James. James, I know you work with like alcohol addiction and getting over that. I mean, I don't really drink alcohol, but like, what is the key to getting over like any addiction? Because I assume that it will be the same for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I coach and my process is very different than traditional recovery methods like AA or rehab. Now, I'll just give you some data. This is not my thoughts, but this is the data, right? The data suggests that AA's success rate is about 7%, which means it's 93% failure rate in terms of getting people to long-term power over drinking. Rehab success rate is about 5%. Okay. And then willpower and motivation alone is about 5% as well. So less than 7% success rate for traditional methods of recovery. Now, that's not to say that AA hasn't helped millions of people. It has. It's helped millions of people over the years, right? It's been very successful for 7% of people who attempt it. But for 93% of people who attempt it, it's mostly ineffective. So that's the data, and I encourage you to do your own research on that. Now I'm happy to give you my opinion as to why that is, and why my process has a 92% success rate of helping people to get to at least 90 consecutive days alcohol-free, okay? So my opinion is traditional recovery like AA, traditional methods really encourage you feeling powerless over drugs and alcohol. You've got to surrender to a higher power. You have to do this 12-step program. You've got to admit you're an alcoholic when it's quite possible you're not an alcoholic. It might just be that you drink too much presently and you just don't have the tools to change that. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are an alcoholic. So traditional ways of helping people is very much encouraging powerlessness, lamenting the past, talking about shame, making amends, doing all those kind of things. Now, that can work for some people, even many people. The way that I do it in my process, which seems to be incredibly effective, is to focus on the future, focus on what you will do, make it aspirational, make it fun, create a like-minded community. So instead of being sober, which means you're saying no to alcohol and cutting something off, you're saying yes to an alcohol-free lifestyle. Instead of walking around saying, I can't drink, I shouldn't drink, I need to stop, I've got to stop. Instead, you tell yourself what you will do, which is I easily only drink soda, water, ice, and a piece of lime. I'm easily going out tonight. I'm going to have the most fun while being alcohol-free. They've done these studies of the brain and neuroscience that show that when you tell the mind and the body not to do something, you end up focusing on that very thing, and you're more prone to doing that very thing. So when you say don't drink,
by the way,
drink,
that's one of the
can't
comments. James, that's one of the comments we're getting right now. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but
yeah.
There's a delay. Sorry, you're in Medellin. One of the comments right now is talking about how people, when you keep talking about not drinking, it makes you want to drink. And there's another guy commenting saying that Liz is not helping with his addiction right now.
Hey,
Same guy saying Liz is hurting.
Yeah, I had tequila last night and I'm hungover right now. So.
Yeah. So let me
just, it's a different, Liz, it's a different addiction that he's talking about. It's the one that has to do with the computer.
Yeah.
Very different addiction.
Very different addiction. Go ahead, James. Keep going.
Yeah, I see Mike Steele has mentioned here, don't think of a pink elephant. So let's do an exercise here for 5 seconds, right? To try and illustrate my point. Everybody close your eyes for 5 seconds. Unless you're driving, don't close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes, listen to me. Do not think about a pink elephant.
Am I the pink elephant?
Do not think about a pink elephant. All right, everyone open your eyes. Show of hands here. Who thought about a pink elephant, even if it was just a millisecond? Look at all those hands are going up, right? But I told you not to think about a pink elephant. I very clearly said, do not think about a pink elephant, and yet you thought about a pink elephant. So the same thing happens with drugs, alcohol, vices. When you keep saying to yourself, do not drink, do not take drugs, do not do this, I can't do this, I shouldn't do this, I need to stop this, all you're doing is thinking about that, and you're more likely to consume that drug or that alcohol. Instead, you tell your body and your mind what to do. And in this example, you say, I'm going up to the bar, I'm ordering myself a soda, water, ice, and a piece of lime. I'm going up to the bar, I'm ordering a soda, water, and cranberry. I'm alcohol-free tonight. I easily drink bottled water all night. And now the mind and the body understands that. And so now you focus on that, you do that, and you just naturally don't have a craving for alcohol. You don't pick up the drink, you don't drink, and therefore you live a mostly, if not entirely, alcohol-free lifestyle. So that's the difference, I think. In traditional recovery, it's like, don't do this. But at least the way that we're doing it, which seems to be incredibly effective, it's focus on what you will do.
Right. So instead of repressing it, you just have a different action then.
Yes, 100%. It's a rewiring of the mindset, and it's a minimizing of alcohol's importance in your life as well, because cultural conditioning dictates that we're We're bowing down to alcohol. Oh, yeah, you got to have a glass of wine to create romance. Oh, you got to have beer to watch the AFC, NFC championships this weekend. Oh, you got to do shots when you're out in a Vegas club for the first time in your life. You just have to, right? You have to pop champagne and celebrate and like have little sparklers when you're in the club because you got to. That's how we celebrate, right? Well, that's all just cultural conditioning. And all of that conditioning has been created by very clever marketers over the decades that they've said to themselves, let's put this poison into a very attractive bottle.
Jason, James, just to your point, you see Miss McGaha right here in Houston, Texas. She's at a bar with very, very convincing marketing right now. Kylee, Kylee is using very convincing marketing for us to get us to drink. Do you see this? Hey, Kylee, can you unmute and say "Go Cowboys"?
Go Cowboys!
All right, beautiful, awesome. Sorry to interrupt you, James.
Enthusiastic.
Sorry to interrupt, James. We're trying to get you to go. We're trying to get this to go viral, James. Keep going.
Yeah, it's a healthy interruption.
Yep.
So yeah, I hope that supports you. The other thing is, everyone here, or has anyone here read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear? It's sold millions of copies. Very good guy on habits. I interviewed him. An interview I did with him is actually on my Alcohol-Free Lifestyle podcast. I think it's released this week or next. But he told me, in order to stop drinking, you want to remove visual cues of alcohol in your home, which means if you've got a wine cabinet, get rid of it. If you've got wine glasses or a bottle opener, get rid of it. If you're going to keep wine in your fridge at home, put it on the top shelf. So when you're standing up, you can't see it, or put it on the bottom shelf behind your groceries like eggs and things like that, so you don't see it. So his idea was remove the visual cues of alcohol and replace them with visual cues of very healthy habits. So for example, this one goes out to the ladies and to the men. One of the things that I do personally is I buy a bouquet of flowers and I put it in my home. Even if I'm not buying the flowers for a woman, I buy them for myself. And what I do is I look at those flowers every single day, and the vibrance and the color and the scent reminds me of health and vitality. And that becomes a metaphor for my own body and my own mind. So each time I walk into my living room, I see the flowers, it reminds me that I too am a healthy being with color and energy, and I'm alive. And so that helps me to make much better habits. It helps keep me alcohol free. When I'm in the line at the grocery store and the chocolate bars are staring me in the face, and the temptation is to just, add a Kit Kat to my groceries, I think of the flowers. I think of that being a metaphor for my own healthy body. I avoid the temptation. I don't buy the chocolate bar, and I just have a mostly healthy life and a healthy mindset. So get rid of unhealthy visual cues, replace them with healthy cues, like a bouquet of flowers, for example, and that will help keep you accountable and keep you in momentum.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
Of course. Who else got a question?
All right, awesome. Let's go, Eric. Eric, what's your question?
Yeah, James, I've been hearing a lot of research on psilocybin mushrooms being used for depression. And I'm just wondering if you've heard anything similar for use in addiction.
I have, but I don't have any opinion on that, candidly. I remain neutral on that. I don't know enough about it, so I don't really want to voice my opinion. I appreciate the question, but I don't know enough about it. I would just say generally, if something is natural, I'm somewhat for it. I mean, I want to dig into the research, but if something is prescribed by most doctors, prescription medication to get you off booze and stuff, I'm going to be naturally averse to that. I'll dig in and do the research, but my view is that most things I think can be healed and fixed through natural solutions, and so that's very much the lens that I look through. So if these mushrooms are natural and there's research to suggest that they're effective in curing addiction, I'll get behind it, but I don't know enough yet to be able to give you an opinion.
Cool.
Love it. Answer your question, Eric?
Yep.
Awesome. Tristan, what's your question? Oh, I'm afraid.
Okay,
now.
so my question's for Kylee. So Kylee, I have a question for you. What's your opinion on abortion?
Okay, no, we're not doing that. All right, sorry. Next question. No, sorry, we're not doing that one. Sorry. Next one. Luke, what's your question?
I have a second question.
Okay.
Katie, How do you pull bitches?
You just be friendly and respect them.
Respect woman, Tristan. Respect woman.
Right. Forgot about that.
Okay, beautiful. Awesome, man.
Abundance
Chris,
mentality, right?
abundance mentality. That's what I'm saying. We're on YouTube. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind this line of questioning. Hey, what's going on? Chris, what's your question?
Yeah, so I haven't drank for many years now, but I still sometimes find myself avoiding situations where maybe I could like close a big business deal or, just go out and have a good time just because I know that there is going to be a lot of booze involved. So I just was wondering if you had any tips on handling situations like that.
Yeah, I make a choice before I go out into any situation that I'm going to have the most fun of anyone at any event while being alcohol free. I just decide to do that. I don't feel awkward about sharing and communicating to people that I'm alcohol free. I don't lead with it, but if someone notices that I'm not drinking, I'm like, yeah, I don't drink. I haven't drunk in 12 years. I love it. I likewise don't get on my high horse and try to lecture someone else as to why they should stop drinking as well. I just candidly share my own.
Look at this light. Look at this light.
Hey, Liz, you got to mute yourself. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've got to a point now where there isn't any situation where I'm tempted by alcohol. And it's not because I'm just, so experienced to this. It's just because each time, whether it's a business networking celebration, as you just mentioned, whether it's the football playoffs, you get a ticket to the Super Bowl and they got free beer. I mean, whether you get invited to the Playboy Mansion, I mean, it's pretty much shut down now, but if you get invited to a Hollywood Hills party, whatever it is, I'm just choosing and deciding before I go out, I'm going to have the most fun. I'm going to engage with people. I'm going to get to know them. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to be relaxed. I'm going to have a great time. And I'm going to do it while drinking soda water ice and some cranberry, or soda water ice and a piece of lime. So a lot of the time people mistakenly think that there's an awkward situation created if you're the only person not drinking and everyone else is. Nothing could be further from the truth. You can be as engaging and have as much fun and even make fun of yourself for not drinking, quite frankly, if the situation presents itself. And so people don't really care. They don't care at all that you're not drinking. They only care if you're still having fun, you're still engaged. And if you're bringing this energy of, I wish I could drink, but I can't. Oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm the buzzkill. Then of course they're going to keep coming at you with, go on, just have a drink. You'll be fine. Come on. It's all right. What do you mean? We just closed a deal. Let's celebrate. You got to have one drink. And if you're like, oh yeah, gee, I know I want to, but I can't, then they're just going to keep coming, right? Because you're telling them that alcohol is so special, and you're telling yourself that alcohol is so special by your body language. But if you're just like, yeah, I'm good, let's celebrate, let's do it, but I got this soda water, the tension is relieved, everyone's happy, and you can just get on with it. I hope that helps answer your question, Chris. I think it's Chris, right?
Yeah, I think that's cool. So it kind of just seems like be really certain in your answers when they're asking you about it. Another thing I've noticed sometimes yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
Chris, I have a slightly different experience. I consistently have people, some of which are actually on this call right now, consistently try to get me to drink and act like I'm a fucking weirdo when I don't drink. I don't know why Katie's smiling so much. And the thing is, I just hold my frame. And I think people actually admire you more when you hold your frame. I've had several people try to bully me into drinking, and then I don't later. And then they come to me later when they're sober and like, dude, I actually respect a lot that you do this. The thing where James is like, people think it's awkward that you don't drink, regardless of whether or not they think it's awkward. Who fucking cares? It doesn't fucking matter if they think you're awkward. You just,
one thing I wanted to say,
that's the thing.
Is that I like how you call it alcohol free, and you don't say I'm sober. You say I'm alcohol free. I appreciate that termination.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Katie. That's amazing that you did that, because sober to me implies like, oh, I've got to say no to alcohol. I'm sober. Like under normal circumstances, I would drink, but I'm sober. And I don't like that. But I'm alcohol free. I'm just living an alcohol free lifestyle. And to Michael's point, nobody cares that you don't drink. Nobody really cares. And even if they do, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Right. And I'll tell you this, persuading anyone is really it's only 7% what you say and 93% how you say it. It's only 7% the words that come out of your mouth. It's 93% how you say it. So let me just use an example here. Everyone think of George Clooney, right? He's suave, he's sophisticated, he's cheeky. Most people kind of think of George Clooney as being sophisticated, incredibly confident, handsome. If George Clooney came over to your home or your apartment, knocked on the door for a party, and you greeted him and you said, Mr. Clooney, how you doing? Can I get you a drink? We've got vodka, we've got tequila, we've got wine, we've got beer. And George Clooney said, oh, no, I'm great, thanks. Can I just grab a soda water? You got a soda water? You got some water? Are you really going to turn to him and go, oh, come on, George Clooney. What are you talking about? Have a drink for goodness sake. What are you doing? God, let off some steam for goodness sake. No, you're probably going to go, absolutely, George Clooney. Let me go and get you a soda water. And you'd race off and try and find him a soda water. It's because he's so confident in his own skin. He doesn't care what you think about him drinking soda water or not drinking tequila or wine. He's just confident in his own body. His body language, his mannerisms are all just like confident, cool. And that's it. That's the end of the story. No one's going to be chastising him or interrogating him about why he's not drinking. It's just next, move on. So I invite everyone here to really embody that kind of George Clooney-esque demeanor, if you like, which is, I'm cool, I'm confident, I'm happy. And when you do that, no one's going to encourage you to drink.
Cool. All right. Yeah, just last follow-up. Yeah, one last follow-up question. So sometimes I get the impression that they will think that I'm judging them because I'm sober and they're going to maybe end up getting a little wild. So do you have any tips for like setting them at ease if that kind of vibe comes up? Or
yeah, same thing. Your body language. It's like, yeah, no, I'm good. You guys go right ahead. I tell you what, I will drink you under the table, my friend. For every shot that you do, I'll do a shot of this soda water. Ha 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 ha. Let's go toe to toe. For every beer you have, I'll drink this water. Ha 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 ha. Just make a little joke about it, right? But if you're all like Mr. Serious and talking about, oh, I can't drink, I'm not drinking, then they probably are going to feel a little bit awkward about it, right? And again, I invite you to just talk about your experience not drinking, your own candid experience. Don't be all like Debbie Downer and like, oh, it was this. Just be like, yeah, I was drinking too much. This happened and I decided I needed to stop. And so I stopped. And so far it's been really cool. But you guys go right ahead. In fact, I'm happy to come in around and buy you guys drinks, have fun. I'm going to be having fun, blah, blah, blah. That's it, right? So they're only going to feel awkward around you if your body language and what you say is creating awkwardness. And you don't have to. You can just be cool and relaxed and chill, and everyone can just have a good time.
All right, great. Yeah, that helps. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
I love it, man. I love that. All right, awesome. So let's get to a couple things here. No, I have one other refrain, James. This is the other one I like to use. I was like, hey guys, have you ever heard of yeast? And they're like, yeah, I know what yeast is. Is what you make bread out of. It's like, yeah. Okay, just imagine if yeast like took a shit. When yeast takes a shit, the shit is called methanol. Isn't that crazy? It's shit that comes out of yeast. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, just imagine if they took that methanol and then they started using that in order to put into Homo sapiens to cause like minor levels of hypoxia, which causes you to be like, feel like a little bit euphoric. Sounds insane, doesn't it? Yeah, why would anyone do that with yeast shit? Yeah, I don't know why. Anyway, that's exactly what alcohol is. Sorry, that's one of the reframes that I use, James.
Yeah,
I really don't. I never started drinking. Like, but I'm not super against it. I just don't let anyone pressure me into doing it. And I found that a lot. I have a lot of friends who like me because they know they can drink without me feeling like I'm judging them. Chris, you're right. Some people will feel like you're judging them, but that's their insecurity. And when you let them know you don't judge them, it's not the big deal. For sure. I'm like DDs. Speaking of DDs, here we go. Kylee, let's go. Hey, Kylee, you still there? Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll do this first. First off, before we keep going, guys, I want to just shout out a couple of people here. First off, everybody give it up for Miss Katie Moore. You guys see Katie's IG right here. Katie, can you see your Instagram on the screen?
I can.
You guys will all follow Katie or I will kick you out of Men of Action. Okay, there's Katie right there. It's _Katie Moore. You guys can see that. Beautiful. _Katie Moore. Also, until she's not back yet, but we'll get to her in just a second. Let's also go with the incredibly famous Miss Elizabeth Marie Chevalier. You guys see Liz on the screen? Can you guys see her up there? There's Liz.
Yes.
She's stunting on us with her 3.9 million followers and her blue check mark. There you go, Liz. Everybody wants to watch you walk around.
Oh my
your
God,
house.
everybody wants to watch me eat pizza.
Everyone wants to watch you eat a pizza. Make sure you eat. Hey, make sure you don't get doxxed and arrested after eating that pizza, honey. Make sure you be careful about who you order that pizza from. Going live, live with the pizza on. For sure. That's not what I meant, but that's pretty funny. And then last but not least, we're going to go to the lovely my current employer, Miss Kylee McGaha.
I'm here.
Kylee,
I'm here.
Guys, once again, you will follow Kylee McGaha on IG. She needs 20 more followers to hit her first 1,000. You're going to follow Kylee, or you will be kicked out of the program. Does everybody understand? Cool, guys. Please mute yourself if you're out somewhere live. There we go. Beautiful. All right, guys. So there's Kylee. There is Katie, and there is Liz. Beautiful. All right, guys. Let's keep it going here. Oh, I'm going to mute everybody, and then you guys can unmute yourselves while you talk. If you guys have questions, we're going to go to the questions here. Chris just asked his question. We're going to go to Luke Chase in Boston. Luke, what's your question?
Hey, Mike, it's Martin Luther King Day today. While we're having a call, do we celebrate the day that MLK got shot in MOA, or like, what's the deal here?
No, dude, that's not. We don't do it. But first off, MLK Day is about his birthday. It's not about the day he was shot. It's a very different thing. Luke, that's very dark. That's very, very dark. We're on YouTube here, brother. These are not YouTube jokes. These are not the YouTube jokes. Shout out to Martin Luther King. Thank you, Mr.
Shout out to
for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Very, very awesome. Former head of the NAACP, Martin Luther King. Here we go, Luke. What do you have another question, Luke?
Yeah. What would you say was, James? What would you say is your biggest takeaway from getting mentorship from Ty in your time with him?
Yeah, I think it was ABT, always be testing. So he likes to consider himself a mad scientist where he just tries a whole lot of different things and he doesn't get too hung up on the results. And because he tests a lot of things, some of those things just skyrocket and go to the moon. So for example, some people here may remember his 67 Steps program that was released late 2015, early 2016. And that was like the biggest online self-development online course program around that time. Don't quote me on this, but I think it did like $50 million plus in sales, just that one 67 Steps program. And the result of that.
No, it did more than that.
Yeah, it was probably more than that.
I think it did. I did think more than 50. I think it did more than 50 million in like the first month. I think it did a lot more than 50 million.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm being conservative, but you know, the reason, like you might remember, he had a very famous YouTube ad, which is like, hi, I'm just bought this new Lamborghini, love to drive it up here in the Hollywood Hills, but you know what I like more than driving fast cars? Knowledge.
Books.
In fact, I'm more proud of these books that I got here than the Lamborghini, blah, 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 right? So that YouTube ad was, I think, his 22nd or 23rd or 24th attempt at saying something similar, right? And that was the one that popped. So some of the earlier versions of that were him driving around in the Lamborghini in Beverly Hills with a camera kind of put up on the dashboard filming him and a camera down by the wheels. And they tried that as an ad, and it was like had mediocre success. He tried filming with a professional camera crew in his house and doing the same thing. They tested that. It did okay. And in the end, the most successful YouTube video of all time is him holding his iPhone. Here it is here in my garage, and just holding it and just talking into the camera. And that had, look at that, 71 million views. You can see the figure there, 71 million views. And that came from him just testing lots of stuff. And finally that popped. So the biggest lesson I got from my mentorship from Ty was just test all the time. Consider yourself a mad scientist. Don't get hung up on one business, one funnel, one attempt. Don't spend months and months and months trying one thing and then putting it out because it might just be a bust, right? So try lots of things. Don't try to make things perfect when you begin. Just begin, and that will be perfect. And then, you know, the one that skyrockets will be revealed.
That's awesome. Thanks.
You're welcome.
71 million views from that video, guys. That was incredible. It really launched Ty. We talked about that. If you guys want to go back and watch the episode where I interviewed Ty Lopez, we go into the specifics of how he made that video. that ended up making him hundreds of millions of, it launched a career that made him hundreds of millions of dollars. As you guys know, Ty has recently, in the last year, he bought Radio Shack, and he also bought, what was the other one? The other
Pier
big
One Imports and Dress Barn.
He bought
things.
Pier One Imports as well. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Ty
I'm an
Lopez
investor.
incredibly,
I'm an investor with him. Yeah, I'm part of there's 600 investors in that community that ended up buying Pier One, Dress Barn,
I love
Radio
Pier One.
Shack, Models, Franklin Mint,
This is what you
Wilhelmina
do
Models,
with Albert.
Wilhelmina Models. He bought. There's a lot of things there. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't realize Ty bought Wilhelmina Models. I remember reading that somewhere,
Yeah.
but I had just forgotten about that till right now. Awesome. Ramsey, what's your question?
Hey man, I just got out of rehab like about 6 months ago, and alcohol fucked up my life and everything. So I just wanted to give you a big thank you for helping the world and just helping people better their lives. No question, just wanted to say thank you.
Was that directed to me or Michael or both?
Oh, that was you, man. Like, you're helping people be sober and stuff, you know? Like, that was like, alcohol really fucked up my life. So like, I just want to say thank you for like helping out the world, dude.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for being vulnerable enough to come on here and share publicly that, you know, you had some challenges with alcohol, and that's amazing. I so congratulate you and acknowledge you and tip my hat to you, sir. It's not easy, and good on you. Good on you for making it happen. And thank you.
7 months sober now.
Hey, James.
Congrats.
Beautiful, Ramsey. That's awesome. Hey, James, we got our first super chat here on YouTube. It says, I drink it's from Intel Wild. I drink every night, but not in the morning or the daytime. Should I taper myself off? Now, I don't know if that's a joke, but what do you think about that? He drinks. He doesn't drink during the daytime just to be social.
I mean, look, my suggestion is you reduce alcohol and you stop drinking alcohol. It's just attractively packaged poison. And so, yeah, taper off for sure. I will say this, right? I'm going to say something a little bit shocking right now. If you are going to drink alcohol, you're actually better drinking alcohol for breakfast than you are anywhere close to bedtime. Because when you drink alcohol close to bedtime, it destroys your sleep. Now, people will say, oh, but I drink and it helps me fall asleep. Now, that may be true, but the quality of your sleep is incredibly compromised. You don't spend as long in that deep REM phase of sleep. You toss and turn. You wake up feeling tired. I'm wearing an Aura ring here. I track my sleep every single night. I would just throw out a challenge there. If anyone's got an Aura ring, track your sleep on the nights that you drink alcohol, and track your sleep on the nights that you don't drink alcohol, and just have a look at the difference. You'll be shocked. So again, this is not an invitation to start drinking alcohol for breakfast, but if you do drink alcohol, at least then your body's got 16 hours during the day to get rid of the toxins. So when you actually do go to sleep, you can actually sleep the way that nature intended you to sleep, okay? But if you sleep anywhere close to bedtime, man, you're just setting yourself up for just a very mediocre life, because sleep is everything. It gives you clarity, focus, energy, happiness, restores your body, your brain, replenishes the glucose in your brain. So yeah. No, taper off and don't drink.
Beautiful. Next question for James is from Ryan Ingram. Ryan, what's your question?
Hey, James, how you doing?
Well, thanks, Ryan.
So my question for you is, how do you recommend people deal with addiction, whenever they feel a strong urge to drink?
Well, the answer is anything else. So instead of taking the drink, what can you do? Anything else. And here's the thing. You don't really want the drink. You just want to change your current state. Because most people are convinced that they need a drink to relieve stress or anxiety, but you don't need the drink to relieve stress or anxiety. You just want to relieve stress and anxiety. And you can do that 1,000,001 different ways, right? Now, some of those ways, if you're in the moment and you're like, oh man, I really want to drink, something as simple as just sculling a whole lot of water is very effective. Just doing 10 to 20 seconds only of deep breaths, like go to the bathroom if you're with friends, and that seems a little bit, like intrusive to do that in front of people. Could seem a little weird, like you're all of a sudden doing these big hyper breaths. But just 15 to 20 seconds can change your state very quickly, can oxygenate your body, where all of a sudden the craving for alcohol can drop. If you're indoors, a lot of times you can just get up, walk outside, walk around the block, get out in nature, get some fresh air, just change it up. Sometimes some people like to just jump down, do some push-ups if they're by themselves, change their state. Other people, in a more pressing kind of situation, it's like that TV show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You phone a friend. It's just literally, you just pick up the phone and you dial, you phone a friend. The bottom line is there are 1,000,001 different things that you can do besides putting a glass of attractively packaged poison to your mouth. And just acknowledging that you don't really want or need a drink to relieve you of your stress. You just want to be relieved of your stress. And you can do that 1,000,001 ways that do not involve drinking that attractively packaged poison.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ryan. I love it, man. Love it, Ryan. Okay, cool. Let's go to Trent Beals in San Diego.
What's going on, guys?
What's
Can
going
you
on,
hear
Trent?
me?
What's your question?
Doing good, man. Hey, this is Trent. Mike, you might remember me from Amy and Courtney's party in Beverly Hills this summer. But this is for actually a lot of you guys.
Wait. Hold on, Trent. You were at Amy and Courtney's party at that fucking house with the what's it called? The predator statue in there?
Yes, predator statue out there in the front entrance. Yes.
Trent, wait, hold on. I remember the party. What were you doing at the party? I'm trying to remember.
I was at the very end. So you came in late that night. There was just maybe 5, 6 of us. A bunch of them were on the patio bed, and you came in.
That party, that house was beautiful. That house was beautiful, man. Yeah. I remember that. Anyway, go ahead, Trent. What's the question?
So, guys, this is something a lot of you guys could probably relate to, but give you some advice on this piece as well. So, for the most of my entire career, I've been very, very successful in everything I do, which throughout the years, I've built that confidence booster, especially when it's either coming relationships with ladies, with people, networking, all these things. It's helped out with that piece. However, when not saying it's a problem, but you get hit on a lot of things. The more you succeed, I've realized the more people are attracted to you. However, when I go out, I find myself that either grabbing a glass of alcohol or I have to have my phone in my hand for security, just for that sense of security. When I really don't, I know I don't need it, but I have it there. And of course, like a glass of alcohol. And I don't know if you ever have that pause moment where you're used to being the limelight, and then you have that moment you're by yourself and you feel like you've got to have something in your hand to feel secure so you don't look awkward. What do you do in a situation like that? Have you had that battle before?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Why do you feel awkward not having something in your hand?
I feel like I don't. That's a good question. Put me on the spot there. I guess it's because I'm used to being busy. I'm used to being, not say the person with attention, but it helps me, I guess, feel secure. Would be the right word. Mm-hmm. If I was somebody else, I'd tell you to man the fuck up. But yeah.
Yeah, I get that it helps you feel secure, that you feel that way. What I would invite you to do or challenge you to do is actually now lean into the resistance and actually go out, and you're not allowed to hold anything for the entire night, and just lean into that and engage in conversations anyway, and stand in a room and just have your hands awkwardly by your side if it feels awkward, and keep doing it until you become comfortable with that. Holding something, I get that that's what you've always done, but the reason it feels comfortable is because it's what you've always done, right? So now you get to lean into that resistance and go and treat it like an experiment, right? It doesn't have to be this big. I was talking about Ty Lopez before, how he likes to experiment with things. I would invite you, go and experiment, and you're not allowed to touch anything in the night. You just got to go out there holding nothing at all, and you've got to, and your challenge is have the most fun, be the most engaging, talk to the most people. In fact, what you can also do is go up to people and just say, hi, I'm actually doing a little challenge right now where I'm not allowed to hold anything or touch anything throughout the whole night and still be my most charming self, and see what the reaction is, and just have some fun with that. right? You don't have to hide it. You don't have to withhold it. It doesn't have to be this big deal. You can make it fun. And if you do make it fun, maybe that will just change your whole nervous system, and it'll start to relax, and you'll start to create new neurons in the brain, which now feels comfort and ease holding absolutely nothing. You've just created a mental prison for yourself. It sounds like, up until this point, where you've got this set of rules in your life where you must hold something or say something or present yourself in a certain way in order to feel comfort. I say blow all of that stuff up.
Yeah.
Right? And just put yourself in a new situation and run it as an experiment. Because if you're going in there going, I need to do this, I have to do this, that Aussie guy on that call with Michael Sartain that time told me to do this, then you're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself. But if you just run it as like this fun experiment, and you tell people that it's an experiment, and you're like, oh, I'm running this experiment to see how I feel, I'm confident your whole nervous system will relax, and you'll start to set a whole new level of comfort in your body and in your mind.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, cool.
All right, hey, Michael.
Liz is about to leave. If anybody has a question for Liz, like especially you guys frequently ask me questions about how do I get influencers to show up to my party? Frequently you ask me questions, Michael, how come they don't answer my DMs? You've got Liz right here. She has the fucking attention span of a 6-year-old with ADD. Why don't you guys ask her the question right now? Anybody? Just unmute yourselves and ask a question if you guys have a question for Liz.
I have a question.
Go ahead. What's the question, brother?
Liz, why did you dye your hair? Unmute yourself.
Liz, why'd you dye your hair? Unmute yourself.
I didn't. It's a wig. And I also have stockings.
She has a hangover wig on. She's got a hangover wig.
Got it. Well,
Beautiful.
thankfully,
Right.
James is here to
Do you like
I have a
it
question for Liz. I had a question for Liz.
Okay, what's the question
do you
for
like
Liz?
it red?
Daxis?
Do you like my hair red is the question. Should I be just like a rabbit?
Raj.
Black.
Huh?
Black is better.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Brunette.
Okay.
Yeah.
Liz, I got a question.
All right, beautiful.
Yes.
Daxis, ask your question, Daxis.
Okay, okay. Say I want to throw an influencer event in a city that's not the big ones. Let's say I have everything set up, the mansion, the speakers, the camera guys, everything. What would be something that would engage you, or be something that's would it be a DM or some way to engage you and be like, oh yeah, this is popping, this is going on, besides I guess just having like a good enough Instagram?
A good Instagram, that's very important.
Okay.
And a follower count is definitely important. If you were to hit me up, I would look at your followers.
Blue check, is that important or no? Michael says that it's kind of redundant.
But I would also ask, like, who else is going to be there? Like, if you have other influencers, and you could even lie and say, like, oh yeah, I have this girl coming, this girl, and they're not actually coming.
We're not going to lie. There is no lying in MOA, but yes, I
okay,
understand what you're saying.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, and I would still, I would show. I think the other people are coming, and they're like, oh, they just didn't show up, and that's kind of that's
okay.
Is
it expected to have all expenses handled, the flight there and back, the hotel? If it's like a big ass house, is it like, would you prefer to stay like at the place, or would you prefer to have like your own hotel and everything? Like,
never fly girls out. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. Because like,
No,
you don't know.
That's just like,
yeah.
if you're not fucking her, sorry, if you're not never mind.
No, but what if it's like for an
True.
event though? It's not. What if it's like it's not trying to fuck? It's like for like trying to throw an event. Like, you know what a content house is?
Yeah, do not ever fly girls out. Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Daxis, why don't we talk about this on Tuesday or Thursday? Okay.
Okay. All right.
I can straighten you up on this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Beautiful. I don't want to talk over everybody. Hey, what's your question, brother?
Do you want to give like a mini shout out to Ramiz? He was my roommate for a couple years. Yo, if you saw where he came from, dude, shout out to that. Be more proud of him.
Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about?
Ramiz. He asked a
you
question
call me
earlier.
Ramsey, but you never
Yeah,
pronounce
you called him Ramsey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Ramiz. Yeah, no, I think I called you Ramsey and you said it was Ramsey one time.
I don't. There's like 60 people on the call, man. I'm not gonna correct you.
I don't know. You kind of look like a
No,
Ramsey to me, dog.
you should fucking correct me, man. People
Nah,
call me
it
a
You look like
doesn't
a
sorry.
fucking
matter.
Ramsey,
Answer my
dude.
questions. I don't.
You look
fucking care.
Ramsey as fuck.
Hold on. Hey,
said
Jonathan
Ramsey
Lau,
as
you
fuck.
have like 30 seconds. Ask Liz a question. John, unmute yourself and then ask Liz a question.
Yeah, I've got a question for Liz. There's a stereotype going on with Asians. A lot of people might think they're unsexy or cool. I just wondered, like, in your opinion, do you have a certain type, or have you been with Asian guys before?
I have.
What do you think?
I've been with every kind of guy. So I don't like judge. Like I'm not like, oh, like I don't like a certain guy. I've been with an Asian guy and they're really sweet and very traditional. So yeah.
I have not been with every kind of guy, so I'm glad you asked her the question because I couldn't have answered that.
Michael,
Cool. Any other questions for Liz before we get rid
I've got
of
a
it?
question for Liz.
Okay.
Going back to the Instagram thing, do you actually check your request folder on IG?
Never.
Or do you...
I never check them because usually
Right.
it's just full of dick pics and you know, and like there's lots of like people who are like, I want to kill you, I'm gonna come and find you and kill you. And so
Right.
it really makes me like very like depressed looking at the DMs because it's like either sexual dick pic stuff or like guys like I'm not responding and then the guy is like, I'm gonna come and find you and kill you. So
Right. So you have like a professional email or something for them to contact you for these sort of invites and events and all that?
I have an email that I get a lot of emails in, and I've removed it, but I usually just I have my agent at in my bio, so that's usually where people go. So
okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk about this, guys. I don't when I met Liz, I think I had 30,000 followers and no blue check mark. We met in real life. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember we talked about that? And we I think we were in a photo because she did an interview. She was tagged in the photo and we started writing each other. Interesting. It's almost like I do the things that I fucking teach. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just want to point that out. Cool.
Also,
All right,
can I say one more thing? One more thing. I think Michael's personality is what gets him to work. Cause he's just like, I've never like everybody around him just like loves him. And he's just, you know, you have to have that, like, what do the young people say? Like you have to have the Riz or whatever. Like you just have to like have that personality where people want to be around, you know? So I don't know. It's like, it's sometimes you either like you can definitely build it, but like, you kind of just kind of have to have it, you know, have that personality.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, awesome. Thank you, darling. Yeah. Miguel, what's your question? Miguel Hernandez.
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Hey, this is a question for Liz. Okay, so I want to become like the next Dan Bilzerian. What do you look? And I need Michael to help me. I'm trying to save up for the course. So what do you look for in a guy to make you say I'm gonna come back? Not dating wise, but like, you know, Dan Bilzerian, he cool. Like, what do you look for in a guy? It's like, okay, he did this. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna bring my friends. It's just on some cool stuff. So like, what do you look for in a guy? What do you look for in the environment to like, he cool, I'm gonna chill with him, you know, some cool stuff.
Well, same with him and Michael. Like him and Michael are kind of like, they just treat women around them like they make them feel comfortable. And other women are also like around. So you're like, oh, there must be like, you know, so it's like, and I don't know, they're like, you have to like have this like kind of personality where like, you're very like, I don't know, I can't speak right now. Like, you just like, you draw in a room, you know, and like everybody wants to be around you. And Michael and Dan both have this where like women, you just want to make women feel comfortable and then also have that like social presence online. So yeah,
okay.
It's really that simple, you know, and like working towards like getting to that level. And then you start to, you know, like the key is like once you're at that level, like making women feel comfortable. You can't be like trying to fuck all the girls. Like a lot of these guys, like they'll get this, you know, to this level and then they start to be like Dan or Michael and then they try to fuck everybody. And it's like, you can't do that. You know, you have to like build this like rapport with all these like women. And then, you know, eventually you might start dating one, but like, you're not like banging them all. And then they're like, it's all this drama and whatever. So yeah.
Okay. One more question. What sets Dan Bilzerian's and Michael Sartain's parties from like other people's parties? Because I know like when they're throwing up an event, it's like it's like everybody in town stops what they're doing and then make sure they go to their event. So like what sets their events apart to like an average person's events? Like what makes their event so special? Besides the girl to guy ratio.
I would say that, well, that's important. Like there's more women there, so I feel more comfortable going.
Okay.
But, and it's just fun. Like, and I don't know, they always have like just so many, like there's like, we went to like the before party, and then there was a dinner, and then it was the club, and then there was an after party. And like Michael never, like he always like has us like at the best seat. Like we went to Aerosmith and we were literally like touching Aerosmith. Like Mike, like he just has like the best of the best. So like everybody wants to like, you know, go with him.
Oh, so it's not just one party. It's like it leads up to the party. It's like multiple parties and then the after party. Okay.
Well,
because I just
yeah,
see the after party on Instagram.
I don't know, Michael, what do you? Yeah.
Okay. But thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
of
your time.
course. Yeah, yeah.
All right, Liz. Hey, if you got to go, that's cool. Thank you for
All
coming
right,
on, darling.
love you. Talk
Thanks,
to you.
Mike.
Bye.
Thanks,
Love you
Michael.
too. Take care.
Bye, honey.
All right, guys. Any from the Steve? Do you have a question, Steve, for James?
Yeah.
For me or for someone else?
Actually, Ramiz just invited me to this. I didn't really know what I was even popping into, but yeah, one of the things.
They call me Ramsey.
Yeah, randomly, I actually haven't drank since July, and I party quite a bit, but it's because I started this like, project. I was like, I'm not going to drink for 30 days, but on New Year's Eve, I bought a beer, but I haven't hit my goals yet. So, and that's kind of what kind of brings me to the point. I'm like trying to figure out how to get like launch like a social media deal. I'm turning my bike into a giant bull. And I was taking it down to Baja for the Baja 1000 motorcycle race to kind of raise awareness for being a dad and doing stuff with your kid, but it's like super crazy engineered. So like in the last few months, I've like brought in, I live in the city, like downtown SF. I've brought like a mill and a lathe. So I've like built out a full prototyping shop. So the YouTube channel will be more about the engineering, but also kind of raise awareness for like kids. Like, so for example, for Halloween, I showed up to a school parade, did a little thing, and then turned my motorcycle into a giant werewolf with like loudspeakers that howl. But yeah, and I want to kind of go ride this bike in these mountains of Mexico with like drone footage. And I'm just trying to figure out how to like launch it because I don't have like good content. But
hey, Steve, yeah. Can I cut you off before we keep going on here? All right.
Yeah,
so here's the thing. I'm going to, in case you join MOA someday, this is how it goes. Okay. I have no fucking idea what you're trying to accomplish with this. None. You have some really cool ideas that are starting to go around there. I don't understand if you're trying to network with people. I don't understand if you're trying to create art. I don't understand if you're trying to date someone. I don't understand what in the fuck you're trying to do with your idea. So I need you in 2 sentences to clearly and concisely express your goal to me.
Yeah, it's still launching at Terrible Designs. That's my prototyping company, and it's going to be marketed through YouTube. So
don't know what Terrible Designs does. One more time. What does it do?
Company. I basically build anything.
Engineering what?
I can build you anything you want, like design you anything.
Okay, so Steve, all right. So the first thing I would tell you to do if you want this to work is I need to clearly in less than 1 second need to be able to look on all of your social media platforms and clearly and definitely know exactly what you're capable of building. You cannot build the Burj Khalifa. I don't think you can. So you said I can build anything you want. You can't build anything I want. I know, Steve, this sounds really fucking draconian, but this is how you succeed. You succeed by letting me know exactly what it is that you can do. Okay?
Yeah, I got it.
There's so much fucking power and specificity. So much power in it. When you walk, bro, Steve, there's a dude out there that wants to buy what you're selling. You bump into him on an elevator and you go, you know, I just want to, my design company, I could just design anything you want. All right, Steve, have a nice day. But if you had said like specifically what you could do,
right now, for example, like bulletproof stuff for carbon fiber belts.
Bro, do you understand how bulletproof stuff for carbon fiber belts, like how that is so different from I can build you anything you want?
Yeah. So it's a lot of racing stuff and like military type application stuff crossover for like adventure riding.
You need 3 incredibly captivating examples that you can bring up in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And Steve, you can't have this nonchalant attitude about it either. You need to sell this fucking idea. I'm just telling you right now, like as soon as you came on and started expressing your idea, I became frustrated because I knew you didn't know how to sell your idea. You're asking me a question, I'm giving you the answer. There's the specificity to it. The other thing is you have to start thinking from the outside in and not the inside out. From the outside, what does your client want? Think of all the spam you get every day. How do you not look like that spam? By saying I can build anything you want is not how you do that, right? Yeah. Men of action. I use evolutionary psychology to teach men how to build networks that can make them incredibly wealthy, date the woman of their dreams, and get any job they want. Did you hear that in one sentence?
Yeah.
Steve, that's my company.
Got it.
Evolutionary studies. What evolutionary studies, Michael? That's a great question. Dr. David Buss, Dr. Satoshi Kanazawa, Dr. Gad Saad, Dr. Steven Pinker, Dr. Stephen Stewart Williams, Dr. Joffrey Wilson, Dr. Leah Cosmides, and Dr. Margot Wilson. Got it? Specific.
Yeah.
I don't have time to be vague with you. By the way, I'm not trying to criticize you. This is for everyone who's listening. I'm not trying to pick on you specifically. It's just, you know Ramiz, well enough. Ramiz knows well enough to know in this program, I'm not cool with talking about success. I'm cool with success. There's a difference.
Yeah, hear you.
Got it? If you were considering joining this program, you will get yelled at until everything makes sense. You need to, like, seriously, we're going to have a girl in here who doesn't even have a fucking, high school diploma, and you're going to have to explain your concept to her, and she better completely fucking understand it. And if she doesn't, it's too complicated, and you need to make it simpler to understand. James came in here. We're doing a study on the effects of what happens when someone doesn't drink for 90 days. 12-year-olds can understand that. One sentence. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's what happens. And what happens, Steve, because I have no doubt you're a highly intelligent guy. What happens with highly intelligent guys is that you're already working on this calculus, you're working on this differential calculus, fucking incredibly complicated level. And you just wish the rest of us would catch up to you. We're not going to catch up to you, Steve. We're not going to catch up. You got to make us catch up by saying, like, when you say, like, who's more popular, any of us or fucking Logan Paul? Dab, 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 dab. Just stupid shit, bro. And they pay attention to it. Right? The president just yells at fake news, right? They just use buzzwords. People like literally 10-second clips. That's how the world thinks. That's the opportunity. Go ahead and send somebody a 10-paragraph white paper. Tell me how that works out for you. Yeah. Or be able to sell it to them in 2 sentences. Tell me how that works out for you.
Yeah, I haven't downloaded my pitch yet. So it's I used to do sales, and that was a bunch of years ago. And right now I'm trying to dial in what I exactly want to do and what I exactly want to sell. But I got Sean Wayland is asking a great question. Then why does Joe Rogan have success with a 3-hour podcast? Because you don't remember a 3-hour podcast. And 90% of you, the clips that you watch of Joe Rogan are 90-second clips that you watch on Instagram and TikTok. Most of you haven't watched a full episode of Joe Rogan in fucking years. And the thing you do remember, put a 1 in the chat if you remember Elon Musk smoking a blunt on Joe Rogan's podcast. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Elon Musk smoking a blunt. That's 1 second, Sean. That's 1 second that made everyone remember who you are. Elon Musk, most richest man in the world, is on the podcast smoking a blunt. I know exactly what Joe Rogan is. You understand what I'm saying? This is one of the problems because, again, male self-help. When I try to help men specifically, women are calibrated. From the time Katie Moore was 14 years old to the time she was 21, she was approached by more men than me and James combined in our entire life. She's more socially calibrated. She's more socially calibrated than we are. As men, we're not calibrated. As men, we're just like, why don't you get it? You had this fucking incredible epiphany in the shower. Why don't other people just get it? Because you didn't explain it, Steve. You got to explain it concisely. Okay?
Hey, I'm going to add something to that, Steve. Thanks for being the guy that gets coached on this. It's amazing that you did that. I just put in the chat there. This is a couple of frameworks here that you could try out. I help X do X with X, or I create X for X with X so they can X. Right. So for me, I help entrepreneurs and executives to stop drinking alcohol so they can feel better. It's pretty clear, right? I'm talking about my demographic. I'm talking about what I do. And, maybe I add a sentence to that, how I do it. Maybe I say, I help executives and entrepreneurs stop drinking with the latest neuroscience so they can feel better. So maybe just play around with that template. I help X do X with X, or I create X for X with X so they can X. Get clear on your target demographic, get clear on what you do, get clear on the impact that that has, and just keep shaping that. Write it down. Maybe it takes you 10, 20 minutes. Maybe it takes you 2 weeks to get it. But then when you got it, whenever anyone asks you, hey, what do you do? Bang, rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do
would
that
say
for,
Somebody copy that and put it in the Discord server.
Yeah.
Simply put, mission statement.
I love it. Does that answer your question, Steve?
Yeah. I was just trying to dial in the social media aspect.
See, by the way, I'm not picking on you. If you joined MOA, I yell way louder than that.
No, it's all good. I mean, I did 500 startups. I've done a bunch of those. I've used to help startups figure out their little pitch decks. So, the same format that we do. I just don't have it dialed in yet. So I think that's the real problem.
Yeah.
Like dialed in on the vision of what I exactly want to do. I'm starting to write down a list of what I don't want to do and go from there. So
I just put that quote James had in the chat version of the Discord server.
Yeah, actually,
I help X do X with X. I create X for X so that they can do X. I just put that in the Discord server right now.
Same thing you do for
so if you guys want to use, that's a great framework. We may put that in the entrepreneurship section. That's a great way to pitch it, because I'm really big, Steve, on very simple communication. I'm a U.S. military officer, which means a lot of times some of the infantry that work, or the infantry, some of the enlisted that work for me may not have gone through Lincoln Douglas debate and may not be very acquainted with a thesaurus. Do you understand what I'm saying? I need to break it down for them, right? And I understand for you might be speaking to venture capitalists that have three fucking master's degrees, so it's different. I get that, but I promise you, finding the lowest common denominator.
The way that James put it, it's like that's one way that you work with remote teams. It's you cut out ambiguity, and it's just one clear thing. I need to do X so that I could accomplish Y, right? I need to build a cord,
beautiful,
so that I could plug in any USB to my drive, so I'm not looking for cables, whatever it is, But I haven't decided what I want to do with the project yet. My main question was like, what's a good way to get social media launching? I think you answered it with like short clips that are very catchy.
Yes.
That's what I was looking at. So.
Yeah. Hey, catch my attention in the first 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Catch my attention in the first 3 seconds. Okay.
Got it.
Steve, come back on here or write me on IG once you come up with the first clip, or join the Discord server and have anybody look at it. That's all we do, is look at other people's IGs all day.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Ramiz should be able to help you with that.
Cool.
Nice. Hannigan, what's your question, brother?
Yo, what's up, Mike? How are you?
What's going on, brother?
Good. So I'll be quick though. So Mike, I got some good news though. I leveled up now. I'm actually working in luxury leather goods, and I'm starting to build my client base. So the only issue I'm having is getting prospects to commit and to get them to turn into clients so that I can close them. So when you're out prospecting, and I'm willing to take advice from anybody here, like what is an efficient way to close your clients while prospecting and getting them to commit?
So explain it. I'm asking Tristan here. So close your clients while prospecting. I can tell you what we do, and maybe James can tell you what he does. Okay?
Wait. I have a question for you, man. What are you doing? Like, what have you tried so far?
So typically I'll go to where my clients typically hang out and be in those environments, and typically try to screen to see who I can have as potential clients and get them to, in a sense that they're interested, but sometimes like I'll have difficulty closing them, like while I'm out.
And what is your product?
Luxury bags and shoes.
Got it. When you say luxury, like what does that mean?
Like the minimum that somebody can spend with me is $595, max is $7,000.
And where does that pricing come from? Is it like tailor made? Is it like a brand that you're associated with? Like where does that come from? What brand?
Todd's Group.
Gotcha. And is that like a well-known brand? Like they classically charge like that price?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And where are the places you're going to?
So typically high-end steakhouses, events throughout the city, restaurants, typically places where my clients are hanging out.
Got it. And what do you feel when you go into these situations? What happens like when you're not closing the deal? Like, are they just not interested? Are they blowing you off? Are you having a conversation? They're not interested. Like, like I want specifics about like what you're doing so I can see like potentially where the holes are.
So at times they're interested, but there's no follow-ups.
Like you follow with them and then they go through.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, what is your process? Like, what do you say to them? What are the conversations like? How do you go about it?
So the crowd that I'm typically in is with a fashion crowd. So I'll typically let them know where I'm at. And then they'll like, I'll make a splash, but typically what will happen is it'll like fizzle out towards the end where they'll be like, yeah, cool. He's a cool guy and all that, but people won't come in and buy.
Right. Okay. So if this was your own brand, I would say do something different. But honestly, like the biggest issue is like where you're going. It's not the quality of the lead. You're going in the right spot. Like because you're aiming with people who have money. That's why you're going to these places, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you need to go to places where they have money, but are also in like a buying temperature. When someone's out in a steakhouse, do you think they want to be sold or do you think they want to have a good time?
Good time.
Good time, right? So you can kind of fuck that up sometimes. Not saying you do that and that's your intention, but that is an after effect that you probably don't really even realize. And also just because they have money doesn't mean they like need what you have. But go to a place where they probably would need it. Okay, maybe a high-end boutique, a high-end outlet, one of the go outside of the Rolex store, right? Because if you buy watches, you probably buy leather goods. So those people are most likely to be in market. They probably have money and they probably have what you need. They're in like back to Jordan Belfort, right? It's like, are you in the market for a pen? You're missing that part. So that's what I would do. And then do what you're normally doing from there. That's what I would do.
Got you.
Yeah, does that help?
Yeah, actually massively. That actually shaved a lot off the curve. Thank you, because I wasn't doing that one last thing. But thank you guys very super appreciate it.
Absolutely, man, for sure.
Hey, Scott, definitely like what he's saying. It is one of these situations where what we learned here creating Men of Action is we created a buzz that made you come to us. We didn't want to have to go out for you. And we learned that from Jordan Belfort saying, sell me this pin. And he goes, sir, are you in the market for a pin? We go where the money is. Okay. We go where the money. For us, I'm going to say this and I'm getting a lot of trouble. Pickup was a pretty massive failure for a lot of guys. So we went there and we made a lot of money from it because we knew that's where the money was, right? It was a pretty disastrous failure for a good, maybe 100, 200,000 guys. And we were able to live and on top of the fact that the second thing for us, Scott, is there were a bunch of coaches that literally would promise the moon, charge somebody 50 grand and then complete none of their work. We just went after those people. So we built a course that's based on science and integrity. We have evidence-based course that's built on integrity. And because we did that, that's where we got our business from. Does it make sense? We went where the money was. We went to outside the Rolex store. Does it make sense? All right, beautiful. Yeah. All right, man. Awesome, brother.
Thank you.
Sal Dela Cruz, what's your question, brother? Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Hello. Yes, Chris. Now, wow, this whole call is herding cats. It's jumping all over the place. Anyway, I do want to ask a question for James specifically. You've gone on record several times during this call saying that alcohol is just very attractive poison. However, I was under the impression that the difference between poison and medicine is the dosage. And wine is a type of alcohol, but I was raised with my culture back at home that it can actually be good for your heart in at least 1 cup a day. What is your belief on that? Could it be that some alcohol is just ignore all alcohol for 90 days and see the greatness of your life and then cut it out for good, like the votes for your ideal self in the Atomic Habits? Or understand that there's a nuance. A little bit a day does not kill you.
A little bit a day will not kill you. No. However, this notion that a glass of wine a day is good for your health is an absolute nonsense and has been debunked now repeatedly in recent years. Those studies first came out in the 80s.
I was going to say the exact same thing, dude.
Yeah. And
utter nonsense, dude. Eat some fucking raspberries if you need antioxidants, guys. Fuck.
Yeah.
So stupid.
What also came out over time was that a lot of the funding for those studies were actually funded by the very wine and liquor companies that were promoting the idea that a drink a day is good for your heart health. Now, there's a lot of other reasons why, even if you did believe those studies that a glass of wine was good for your heart, when you really dig into it, the part that's good for your heart is being around people that you know, like, and trust, right? Like if you're in a nice family, or you've good friends and you're spending quality time and you've got high morals and values, then that is good for your heart, because you've got less stress and less anxiety. To claim that it's because you drink poison one night a week is an absolute nonsense, right? So follow the money, I guess, when you see who's funding these things. And also, I put a heck of a lot more trust in 2023 research than I do from 1980 and 1990 research, because we know we've got 2-3 more decades of understanding of the human body and 3 more decades of studies. Now, you got to understand where the study's coming from, who's funding it. You got to look into that. But this notion, this ridiculous notion that drinking any amount of alcohol is good for your heart is just preposterous. It is ridiculous. In fact, there was a study that came out in 2022 in March. They did a study of 35,000 Brits, okay? And they measured the effects of folks who drank one seemingly innocent glass of alcohol per night. And what they found was that was enough to destroy white and gray matter in the brain. In other words, to borrow Michael's exercise previously about getting to the point, brain damage is caused from one drink a night. Google this. Google it. 35,000 Brits. One drink a day is enough to cause brain damage. It's on my TikTok. You can go back, you can look at the TikTok video, and we cite the actual study. So for people to keep hanging on to this idea that, oh, but a drink a day is just good for your heart, it's good for your health, one won't kill you. Yes, it will. One will actually kill you, and it'll cause you brain damage in the process. So please, if you take anything from me being a guest on here tonight, start to do your own research, rewire your mindset, stop bowing down at the altar of alcohol and treating it like it's this glorious thing. It's not. It's shit. And it's disrupting your sleep, causing you irritability, holding you back, causing you to live life at a 5 or a 6 out of 10 when you're capable of an 8 or a 9. It's compromising your relationships. You don't need to be waking up in a ditch, getting arrested, getting DUIs in order for alcohol to be fucking with your life, excuse my French. All you got to do is drink one seemingly innocent drink a night and it can fuck with your life. Causes you brain damage. So I implore everyone to wake the F up. Start seeing what cultural conditioning has done to all of us. Convinced us, persuaded us that this is this beautiful thing. It's not. And you don't need it to have a great time. You don't need it to have a great life. You don't need it to bond. You don't need it to communicate. You don't need it to create romance. You don't need it to reduce your stress and anxiety. And you don't need it to feel comfortable in a social situation. Wake up, please. Life can be extraordinary, and you get rid of this poison, man, it's so good. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much for having me, Michael. I have to bounce here. I appreciate all of your questions. I appreciate the audience here. Just another thing as well, if anyone wants to be in that study, it starts February 1. Put a link down below there, alcoholfreelifestyle.com/study-sartain. If you click on that, that'll take you to the details. Maybe I'll see some of you. I saw a couple of people have already booked a call with us, which is amazing. Good on you for taking action. Michael, I appreciate your friendship, brother. Much love.
Of course. Thank you, James. Let me know when you come back here. Apologize for all the chaos. That's how we do things on the Monday call. I embrace the chaos. Embrace the chaos. Ready, guys? Everybody do like this, guys. Embrace the chaos. That's what we do here. We mix it up. Thank you, James.
Enjoy your night.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you, brother. Sorry for being disruptive. Thank you.
All right, brother. Awesome.
See you
cool.
guys.
Alejandro, do you have a question? And Alejandro likes to do this to us sometimes. Alexander, what's your question?
Hey, Michael. So my question is, if you were to kind of go about starting a business today in 2023, like you said to Steve earlier, you'd want to make it simple or something that's scalable. What would kind of be some ideas that come to your mind?
Okay, cool. So it's the problem you solve. Listen to me, Alexander, I'm going to make you do something you might not be comfortable with, but I need you to do this with me. Okay. I need you to repeat after me. Ready?
Mhm.
Fuck your feelings.
Fuck your feeling.
Fuck your
There you go.
feelings.
You just became a billionaire, bro.
Oh, okay.
Fuck your feelings.
Wow, is that
You
easy?
do
Yeah.
the thing. You solve the problem.
Okay.
Okay. Do not concern yourself with what your fucking passion is. Concern yourself with the problem that society has. If you can solve a societal level problem, then you can make a societal level of money. Does it make sense?
Mhm. Absolutely.
Insurance companies were a way for people to hedge off their risk, and Warren Buffett is a multi-billionaire because of it. People wanted to, with the idea of going to an electric powertrain for cars to replace petroleum engines was a dream people had, but the federal government couldn't get there along. Dude, what is Katie doing right now? Katie, boy, you about to get us suspended. Yeah, but what happened instead is Elon Musk did it, and he made societal levels of money, became the wealthiest man in the world. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When you solve those kind of problems, then you become incredibly wealthy. Of course, it's super fun to own a football team. I wish we could all do that. Wouldn't that be fun? But no, most of us can't do that. We have to do a problem like debt reconsolidation. We have to solve a problem like fix your credit. We have to solve a problem like run an office full of accountants. Sometimes the problems don't make your penis hard. Sometimes the problems that you solve are just boring fucking problems. Do you understand? Sometimes one of the wealthiest dudes I ever met in Dallas, he had a porn shop. This was like 25 years ago. But it's not like fun. It wasn't like a porn website. He had to like go in there and clean spooge off the fucking wall. He was making 60 grand a week, taking home from the, do you think that was his feeling, Alexander? You think he woke up one day and be like, you know what I want to do? I want to clean spooge off the fucking wall. No, he solved the problem, became fantastically wealthy. Makes sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Alexander, I don't know what you're good at. What I do know for certain is that you will be paid in linear proportion to the complexity of the problem you solve. And I didn't say that. The richest man in the world said that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what's the problem you're solving? Alexander, I'm telling you, one of the reasons why so many entrepreneurs are so bad is because they became entrepreneurs because they didn't want a job. They became entrepreneurs because they wanted it to be about all them. MOA is not about me. We have these networking coaches. They have their own specialties. MOA is not the Michael Sartain program. MOA is a program that is based in evolutionary studies. It's not about me. It's about solving a problem. Right? If you look here, you want to see something crazy, Alexander? I don't even have to know. Like, I'm just going to do this beforehand. Do you see the gallery view? Do you see the gallery view?
Gallery view?
Is it showing the gallery view on here? Maybe it's not. Actually, maybe it's not. Let me see if it is here. Let's see if it remove all the spotlights. No, you don't see the gallery view? Do you see on the screen a bunch of people there?
I mean, I see at the top of the screen. Yeah, I mean, I see.
Okay. Do you notice that Alejandro is Hispanic and Daxis is black and Katie is white? Do you understand that there are people here from Middle Eastern countries? Stathis is Eastern European. Do you understand that Gashard is from Florida? Awaz is from a different place. Mark Muners is from a different place, and Eduardo Figueroa is from a different place. So is Ramiz. Do you know that I don't go out of my way to make an ethnically diverse program? But why is my program so ethnically diverse? Why do you think that is?
Because it solves a problem.
Because it solves a ubiquitous problem that every 23 chromosome male throughout the history of mankind has been trying to figure out. That's why this is, look at how diverse this program is. Look how different Dominic is from Jonathan Lau. Look how this program works. There's at no point do I go out and be like, hey, you know what, sales team, let's get more black people in the program. Let's get more Hispanic. I don't have to do that because all of us have the same issue. We're all looking for higher status and higher sexual selection. And it's not a cultural thing, it's genetic. That's the problem that I solve. Do you understand?
Yeah, yeah.
When you look at the diversity of this program, then you say, okay, well, that means Michael's teaching something that exists on an evolutionary or population level scale. And that's the reason why this works. So now you have to ask yourself the same question. What is the problem that you're solving?
Okay.
When you can bring that problem you're solving to me, and you can answer it in 2 sentences and really like get my attention, then you've hit something.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
But you want to know what else you could do? You could buy a fucking Chick-fil-A and then use the money from that Chick-fil-A to buy another Chick-fil-A and then buy another Chick-fil-A and then buy another Chick-fil-A. And the next thing you know, you're pulling in like $2 million a month from all the Chick-fil-A's that you own. When you go up to a girl, and the one guy's like, yeah, I'm a doctor. And you're like, what do I, I own a bunch of Chick-fil-A's, but you got way more money. It's so boring, bro. Whose problem did you solve? Really? We got plenty of Chick-fil-A's. No one's. Well, but really, but you did solve a problem though. Why are you wealthy? Because people want to eat that Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It's boring. Sometimes the answer is boring. What I love, Cody Sanchez, she's a coach, and she teaches people how to buy things like coin-operated laundromats. People make 60. She's like, man, we clear about 16,000 a month per laundromat in profit, all coins. How boring is that? But she's rich. Boring. Do you think her feelings? She woke up one morning. You know what I really have a passion for? Laundromats. No, fuck your feelings. That was the first thing I told you. Got it?
Got it.
I love it. Alejandro, what's your question? Let's try this again. And
Hey,
he's there. All right, Alejandro.
Hey, I'm back.
What's going on, man?
Okay. This is for, I guess, the ladies and small talking, or even you, this question. How do you deal when you're conversing with a lady and then she starts like giving off big dick energy, and it's like kind of making you, how do you deal with that?
You suck the dick, bro. Suck it.
To suck her dick? Suck her metaphorical dick? What's up?
Kylee, you there?
How do you deal with that? And then like the unequal exchange of value at a certain point.
Can you ask Kylee this question specifically?
Kylee, how would you deal with, as a guy, and a woman's coming off and giving off like big dick energy? Like she's like telling how much she makes, and like she does XYZ. I'm like, do I just ignore it or listen? Like what's the best reaction, man, I could take?
I mean, I honestly don't know. I think that's kind of weird. Like if a girl's doing
they start qualifying to me like that.
That's kind of weird. Like I don't think that's.
I don't know what the
that's
fuck
like
to do.
that's not really like an attractive like trait to be that way. So I mean, if she expects you to like fall all over her for that, like she should not expect that. Like she should not expect you to like her for that. That's kind of weird, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's her putting up a wall.
I don't know how to take that. I would honestly, I would take that as like, okay, I guess you just like want to be friends with me because like you're trying to be on my level and we are totally two different genders. I'm guessing you want to be my friend. That's how I would take it if I was like a guy and a girl was coming up to me like that, or like vice versa. I think that's kind of weird. That's how
I get
the girl who says, like, I only have guy friends.
Okay. Yeah, it's like that.
She says she only has guy friends. She's like Kobayashi with the hot dogs.
Yeah. I'm going skiing later.
That's cool. Guys, am I allowed to make a dead baby joke, or is this? Do I have to keep
no.
We're on YouTube, man. I don't know if it's a good idea.
It's kind of a
wholesome dead baby joke. Okay.
I got you, G.
Say it on Tuesday.
All right, here we go.
What do you call a dead baby floating in a pool?
God dang.
Bobbing for applesauce.
Okay, bro. No. It's okay.
Just read us one of your
poems. Not bad.
It actually wrote a poem about it.
Just a wholesome poem, please.
In a pool, bobbing for applesauce. What a strange sight to find in this place. It's so bizarre, enough to make you pause. To see a dead baby around in its own little sauce. The applesauce is gooey and a sticky mess, but it's not a sight you want to caress. Fuck. But know that this pool is filled with the baby.
Michael.
Floating around just a little bit, maybe. So if you ever come across a dead baby in a pool, just remember that it's bobbing for applesauce. And you think it's strange and you can't comprehend. Just remember that the baby was looking for a snack to the end.
Okay,
By far, one of your best poems.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, Alejandro. We got to mute you. I just got a message from YouTube. I'm done. They just got rid of my account. Bro, what in the world? Okay, real quick. Hold on, guys. I need to read a super chat. Hold on, so we can switch ideas here. Shout out to Joshua, who says, Michael, love your content. Brady is going 8-0 tonight. And by that, what he means is Tom Brady has never lost to the Dallas Cowboys. He's 7-0, and tonight he's playing the Cowboys. So we're going to see what happens. Daxis, what's your question?
I never bet on sports games. I always jinx it. So I've been obviously following you for a while. Actually, I found out about you through a certain red-haired fellow
Okay, cool. Hey, we like that red-haired guy. There's nothing wrong with him.
You know, no, yeah, I love it.
We like him. He's that guy's
dropped
one
a
of the
video.
best speakers I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, and he dropped a video today, and I was watching it before. But so here's my main objective, right? Basically, you know, the first thing you suggest is when you're in a small city, move. But my city isn't so small that it's like there's nothing going on. It's like a college town, right? So I believe that there's like enough to work with to make something happen. It's in the Midwest. So my end goal is to basically like have a social circle, but I think my end goal is almost like put the city on the map because I do have a social media following, a decent enough one. So I've started to think about. Sorry,
which city?
Saginaw, Michigan.
You want to put Saginaw, Michigan on the map rather than move?
Well, one thing right now I can't really move, but yeah, while I'm here, I'd want to do that because well, yeah, it's Michigan. It's far. It's hour south from East Lansing, which is like the biggest party school in the whole state. So instead of like, for example, we'll pack up your stuff, drive an hour up, which you couldn't even do it. I'd rather just put it on here and become more of like a social media, like a presence, like a big fish in a small pond kind of thing. So my objective
you can become a big fish in a small pond. I just don't think you're going to put Saginaw on the map. I just don't think like you understand, Daxus, if I was trying to tell you, bro, man, I'm from Garland, Texas. I'm trying to put Garland on the map. It's cool for me to say that. Daxus, you would not give a shit. You wouldn't care. You care, Daxus, because you're from there. But like you have to remember what I said before about from the inside looking out. Why don't you just become a social media content creator? Like look at Kylee. She's in Pearland. She's from Pearland, Texas. She puts Pearland, Texas on the map. You know what I'm saying? By the way, I introduced all my life. I introduced Kylee to Karen Lee, the male porn star. And turns out Karen has family that lived in Pearland, Texas also. How crazy is that?
So what is that called? Like serendipity, or is that like coincidence? Coincidence, yeah, that kind of thing. Yep. But so but no, Dax, like here's the thing, man. Like don't worry about like she's not trying to put Pearland on the map. Put yourself on the map, Pim. Don't worry about it. Put yourself on the map. Don't worry about Saginaw. Okay.
If you want to, that's fine. You can say I'm from Saginaw. That's fine. Like you can shout that out that you're from Saginaw. And that might be a commonality that you find, you know, but that's not that's not the point.
Well, the thing is while I'm here, I have enough to work with. To make, like, I have a life out here enough to work with that I'm thinking that if I'm vlogging or if I'm doing that and the content is good enough, it can compensate for the fact that it's a little place and I have.
No, you don't have to compensate for anything. Why does anyone need to know where you make your content? No, Dax is incorrect. Don't worry about compensating. There's tons of influencers that live in Waco, Texas, and fucking maybe even Saginaw, Michigan. There's probably a ton. I bet you if we go on TikTok right now, we'll find a bunch of people. I bet you if we go right now to TikTok, we'll find a bunch of people that live in Saginaw. That's not my point, bro. You don't have to raise the level because you're in Saginaw. No one needs to know where you're broadcasting from.
Okay.
No one needs it. Doesn't make any difference. Like Joe Rogan is not going there to put Austin on the map. He just lives in Austin. He puts himself on the map. Do you understand?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's also this thing. Sorry. Okay. So here's the thing, right? Also, when I go out and I meet, say, you know, attractive people, and I want to say start scheduling events, and I just notice that these attractive people of the opposite sex tend to have friends who are very blue-faced like. Does that kind of make sense?
I don't know everything about blueface. Are we talking about light-skinned black dudes with tattoos on their face? Is that what you mean? What do you mean by their blueface?
Yeah, like that up here, like that mentality. And I just straight up I'm just like, hey, if I want to throw like a party or a photo shoot, it's like they can't come. But I also don't want to isolate them for their friends and be like, hey, your friend can't come, because like that's just not. I've DJ parties with that kind of atmosphere. It doesn't end well. Trust me. So that's just not. I'm not even going to be like, well, yeah, he can. No. Absolutely not.
That's tough.
That's a tough one, man. I mean, I would need more understanding of like what kind of party we're doing here. What kind of party
Well, it's just like, for example, it could be like let's say the club closes down at 2. Okay, after party here. Okay, we have like a property. We have everything set up. You have decorations here. It looks nice. It looks clean. But then they bring their blue-faced friends over, and it's just like, well, okay, maybe they don't got no respect for the property, or they have no respect. They'll just be like, pants sagging.
So I would have a conversation with them. I would have a conversation about that specifically, right? By the way, that would not make me want to put Saginaw on the map. First off, that's the first thing. Okay, I don't have that problem in Las Vegas. and I don't have to put Las Vegas on the map. That's the first thing, Dex. Second thing is I would have a conversation with me like, hey, I just want to let you know, like I invite you over here and you bring dudes over here and they're just like, they don't dress the part for this kind of party. They're generally not going to want to come. So don't worry about it. You're good. Just tell the truth.
Okay.
Don't be passive aggressive about it. Just tell the truth.
Is there a polite way to say it? Because
Don't say blue face. Don't say blue face. That would not be the place. What I would say instead is be like, hey, listen, or I would lift up the standard for the party and then be like, that's what we do with our Babes in Toyland. Hey, just let you know, men should be in suits, women are in gowns. That's the way it works. When dudes will go, yo, man, I don't even like that shit. I'm like, why would my question is, I'm not like, hey, bro, don't come to the party. My thing is, why would you want to come to a party where we're all dressed well anyway? You wouldn't fit in. Why would you even want to be here?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I understand. So the higher caliber party, higher caliber people, XYZ, and so on and so forth. Okay, we can do that. We can absolutely, we can absolutely do that.
Or have a conversation with them specifically. Like if Katie kept bringing some dude around to my party who was just like causing trouble, I'd be like, Katie, I just need to express to you, like the party has some certain goals. We want to make, this party wants to make money, or we're trying to raise money for animals. We try to raise money for animals, and your boyfriend got in a fight with 3 people. This is the second time that this has happened. This is not helping us raise money for animals. Do you understand? Cool. That's it. We're not picking on him. It's objective fact.
Right, but can I ask Katie? So if Michael came to you with that, like, is that something you'd understand? It's like, okay, you have a guy friend, he's kind of rowdy, and like Michael has a thing, he invites you to him, and like maybe your guy friend wants to come, or like,
Well, so here's the thing, because I'm a guest of that event, I have to respect the host or whoever invited me. I have to respect their opinions and whatever they think. I can, like, let's say I think what the guy is doing is completely valid, whatever, but because the host or the like event planner or whoever invited me tells me that it's inappropriate and that they don't want them around, I have to respect that. And then if somebody also who you tell that you don't like that behavior, if they don't respect your opinion, then you have to X them as well.
Okay. All right. So this comes down to basic respect. If people I'm inviting, they don't respect, and they just kind of bring it. It's just like, okay, well,
yeah,
just kind of you have to nix them.
It's like give them an inch, they take a mile kind of thing. Like if you give anybody any kind of leeway, then they're gonna like relay that to their friends and be like, hey, this guy doesn't care. I can bring all these people to this party. Then it's gonna end up being a shit show.
But my question is, how do you make them feel comfortable? Like if I'm just kind of meeting you, and I'm kind of like trying to invite you to this thing, it's like, well, I don't really know you. Can I bring someone else to feel safer? I mean,
yeah. So Daxis, what I do is I always have partners, and my partners don't want guys to come in unless the guys pay.
Okay.
That's what I do. My partner is just, and like, I'll be honest with you. I put it on Barry Bly or Steve Fowler. Hey, bro, love to have all the girls come. Oh, you have guys come? It's not a problem. Here's a link. It's $115 a person, or tables start at $1,500.
But like girls,
but I want to bring him in for free. Oh, well, this is a charity event. It's not my event. So you have to go by what they say, unfortunately. And if you don't want to come, that's fine. What you're going to find, hold on.
Sorry, what
you'll do,
Dax?
Dax, head cover's not going to help. What you'll do, Daxis, is when you say that, the girl's going to realize, wow, this is a really cool party. This guy set boundaries. He didn't just look at my titties and say yes to me like all the other simp dudes do. He actually set a boundary, stated this was a charity event, or this is my event, and we're only going to have this ratio. Girls getting free, guys have to pay. He set a boundary. He didn't just say yes to me like every other dude does. Now I even want to go more than I wanted to go before. And now it's like, fuck Blueface. I'm not even bringing him. This place is too high status that I'm going to where Daxis is. I want to go and find a different dude.
Okay.
Because you set a boundary, dude. Because you set a boundary. When people can't get into Bilzerian's house when he was throwing those huge Ignite parties, do you think girls were like, can I please get my boyfriend in? They had loaded shotguns standing on the front. They were hitting motherfuckers with a fire hose trying to keep people away from there. What do you think girls did? Fuck my boyfriend. I'm going by myself. That's what happened, dude. That's what happened, Daxis. So when you set a boundary, then more girls want to come and they'll leave their boyfriend because you set a boundary.
Dang. Loaded shotguns. Are you being facetious, or like was that actually a thing?
Glocks. Somebody look it up, Google it, Ignite party, and then you can find like some of the dudes that were armed. Several of the guys were armed.
That's crazy.
No, it wasn't crazy. Do you know how many dudes want to kill Bilzerian because he fucked their girl? Yes, it's not crazy at all. It's not crazy at all, bro. But the girls, even though that happened, and the boyfriend's like, you better not go to Bulgarian. You know how many times? At least 100 girls. You better not go to Bulgarian's party or we're breaking up. They went anyway. Because it was impossible to get in. Got it?
Yeah. I understand. Okay,
Bro,
so exclusivity, high
consider
caliber.
setting boundaries. Setting boundaries for you and your events personally, and watch more people want to come. In MOA, dude, I was just listening. You guys would never believe it. I wish we had recorded this. Tristan is on doing a sales call earlier, and he's like, yeah, you mentioned this, and this, and we don't really provide this. And even though you'd like to give us the money, we're not going to take your money because this doesn't fit along with what we're selling. We deny people. The people are trying to give us 10K. I'm sorry, this is not what we're selling. We set a fucking boundary. The dude goes back and he looks at what we sell, and he wants to come join our MOA anyway. He's like, holy shit, you guys didn't take my money. He's like, yeah, of course, because this program is tailor-made to a certain type of success. If you guys are looking for a program specifically to learn how to do C++, this is not the program for you. I want to learn how to program in Python. No, I want to do Amazon FBA. There's other places you can go for Amazon FBA. I want to learn how to do high-ticket sales. We're probably going to refer you to Cole Gordon. It's probably not the main thing we're going to do here. Okay? Michael, I want to start throwing charity events, and I want to start using my social media in order to grow my influence in my city. Ding, 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 ding. Got it? Set a boundary, Daxis. Set a boundary. People will be so much more attracted to you when you set a boundary. Okay?
Okay.
Woody, what's your question?
Just get the Glocks, bro. Just get the Glocks. Should be good. Yo, what's up, Michael?
Somebody Google it. Somebody Google it. Somebody Google it. They were loaded shotguns when we walked in.
Yeah, Google
there.
it. I want to see it too. Yo, what's up, Mike? Good to see you again, ladies. Hope you're doing well. So I got a couple questions. I had one is James coming back at all?
No.
He's not coming back? Okay. So let's skip that question. So I have two questions then. My first question is, ever since I moved to Miami, I've been dating multiple beautiful women. But it's really only gone as far as dates. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to go further in the relationship per se, but I'm trying to figure out how I can leverage these women to build better networks, a network with higher value people, and also help leverage it for business.
One more time. What kind of business is it again?
Would be sales and social media marketing.
So you want to do sales for a social media marketing company, or you have a social media marketing company and you're doing both? You're operating
marketing
a company.
Yeah, I'm doing both. So I have a couple offers that I'm doing sales on. One is also another social media marketing company. And then I'm doing I don't know if I mentioned this in the last call, but I do short form video content. So I'm doing sales for myself as well. For my short form video content business.
Beautiful.
And I'm trying to figure out how I can leverage, not just in business, but also in networking as well. How can I leverage the women that I've dated and that I've been dating to network with higher value people, get into higher value networks, and then also leverage that in business as well.
I'm actually kind of baffled you're asking this question, Woody. Oh, not baffled. I'm actually not surprised at all. Go ahead, Tristan.
Wait. So there's two things here. So you want to leverage it for your soul circle and leverage it for your business. Is that correct? You there?
That is correct. Sorry, can you not hear me?
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So when you say that you want to leverage it for your social media marketing agency, what does that mean? Do you want them to be your clients or something? Do you want them to help you meet more people? What do you want out of your female friends specifically that can help you with your business? That's the part I'm unclear on.
I guess that is a separate question to that. I guess I'm trying to figure that out. But maybe even, would it be wise bringing them, let's say, to a business meeting or a dinner? You know what I mean? With a client, would that be wise? Bringing women around, because I feel like that is an asset that I have, where it's I'm able to attract beautiful women. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that as a truth. And then, I feel like I meet or network or do business with a lot of men who, they might be a little bit older. They have the money, but they don't have that kind of.
Yeah. I mean, the answer is I have my answer on
this, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the answer is unequivocally yes. If anything, you could also, this is a little advanced, but oftentimes it also can work the opposite way. If you know a lot of attractive women, they also know other high status guys, and you could leverage them to meet other guys too. So it works both ways. So the answer to me is unequivocally yes. It absolutely does not hurt you to do that. So yeah, you should absolutely do that.
Woody, I need you to write down a book for me. It's called Very Important People by Ashley Mears.
You told me about that book. I bought it, but it came in like a week ago. So I just started. No, I just started reading it, but it came in like a week ago.
Read audiobooks. Do audiobooks, by the way.
Guys, it specifically goes how after these guys use attractive women to get into business deals. Also, Woody, can you think of an example of somebody who does that, who uses attractive women in order to build their business? Can you think of any examples of that?
Ed, just from social media, I would say Dan Bilzerian's one.
Dan Bilzerian's one. Okay, cool. Interesting.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, keep going.
Who's this
Anybody
guy?
else?
Wait, who's this guy?
Anybody else you can think of?
Not off the top of my head,
the thing is, like I don't say.
There might be a link in the chat for you to find out more.
The problem is, Woody, I don't understand how the answer couldn't be anything else but yes.
Well,
wait,
yeah,
Mike, show him credit. Show him credit. Show him that dude.
Stephen Lau.
Show him credit.
It's not necessarily like should I or should I not like bring these women around for business meetings?
Like what do you?
So what's your question, bro?
It's your only
that's
chance.
what I'm like. That's what I'm confused about. Like, what's your question?
I go about that.
Okay,
Other
ready?
than just bringing them around business meetings.
Woody, take a look here. Leverage credit, free travel, subscribe for MS Corps. So he teaches you how to use your credit to get like free stuff and how to fix your credit. Do you see that? Woody? Okay, do you see that? No, let's watch him. Do you see him fixing your credit right here? Do you see that? See him fixing your credit? Hold on. Listen, do you see the credit that he's fixing? Do you see that? Look at all the credit he's fixing there. Look, you see that right there? He's pointing to your credit going up and being fixed. Do you see how he's doing that? There's more credit fixing right there. Hold on, let's keep going. There's with the shotgun. Look at him fixing your credit right there. Do you see that, what he's doing? Okay.
Right.
More, but hold on. It gets even better though, Woody, here, because it gets even better. Because now he's with other people fixing their credit. You see this? You see? Yeah. Hold on, let's see if we got another one here. Oh, look at that. Look at the credit fixing that he's doing there. You see this? This guy makes so much fucking money. It's insane. Should I have women in my stuff? I don't know. Maybe. Look at the credit he's fixing there. Do you see this? The correct answer is, Woody, there's no other way to do it. That's the actual answer.
For sure. Well, I guess so. My question was like, how do I do that? I know this is probably like a lot of the value you give in MOA. But like, how would, other than just bringing them to business meetings, right? Because I have like probably, I have a meeting tomorrow, or I have 2 meetings tomorrow, right? Other than just like bringing, one of my girlfriends to one of these business meetings, how else would you do that?
I don't know. Sometimes I bring them on Zoom calls. Have you ever seen that?
Fair enough.
Like Woody, it's inception, bro. It really is. Like the issue is what will happen. You know what, Woody? I don't want to go too far into this. I want you to finish that book. The book is going to completely answer that question for you. Also, you have an issue with your microphone where when you're trying to say something, it just cuts out. Your microphone cuts out.
Give me 1 second because I have one more question, but let me just I'll just take these out real quick and then
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Way better. Yeah, so much
better.
Okay. AirPods. Cool. Yeah, AirPod microphone's not good. So now, Woody, just so you understand, yes, the answer is unequivocally yes. And the answer is I would just try it and then see what happens. You're going to find it's not an issue at all. It really isn't. Because as pre-selection helps men, or as pre-selection helps women understand men, it also helps men understand men.
Okay. Okay, for sure. I see what you're saying. Yeah. All right. So my second question was, this is a little bit, kind of off topic from that, but I have this girl who I've only been seeing for about the last, I haven't even been seeing her for like a month, right? We've been hanging out for like the last 3 weeks. And as of yesterday, we hung out this weekend, we hung out like a couple days in a row, like she stayed the night, whatever. But as of yesterday, she's just been blowing my phone up. Like called me 12 times in the last day, probably texted me.
Did you have sex?
Multiple times, yeah.
But that night was it different? Did you say something? Did she say something?
Actually, that night we didn't. Actually, that night we didn't.
That might be something interesting.
Why do you say
Because now
that?
she's like, because now she might be thinking of you in a different light.
Like that I don't want to just fuck.
Well, also the fact that you didn't go for it, she's also concerned that you may not be as attracted to her. Like, listen, women are like used to men wanting to have sex all the time. It's like a switch. That's all. It's like you turn on the faucet and water comes out. When it doesn't come out, it's a big fucking deal, bro. There's something wrong. Yeah. And so that a lot of times that's the case for women. So you did this thing where you're consistently having sex with her, and then one night you didn't. Of course, that's going to trigger like any type of insecurity that she has, because what women are always doing. Like, women don't want to sleep with unlimited men. When they sleep with a man, they have to like check and see, like they have an algorithm in their head called hypergamy that's looking for like, is this the right guy? Is this the right guy? This is the right guy. Yeah. All of a sudden you've been sleeping with this dude, and then all of a sudden he doesn't want to sleep with you one night. The hypergamy meter goes, okay, this was the right guy. He's so high status. He actually isn't trying to sleep with me right now. I don't want to let this one go. Right. And by the way, this is completely subconscious and totally evolutionary. It is not something she's cognitively thinking.
Well, yeah, because obviously she's not blowing up my phone, but she's like texting me. I'm not going to go too deep into the text, but she's like saying like, oh my God, I'm like anxious now. Like, I'm so worried why you're not hitting me up. Like, is everything okay? Like all this other shit.
So it's exactly what we just said. And that sounds like it's exactly what we said. But what's the problem though? Is that a problem?
No, I guess, well, I mean, personally, I really haven't dealt with anything like this. I have before in the past, but it's been a while. I guess I'm curious from your opinion, because I've kind of already dealt with it, but like, how would you go about dealing with a girl who's like blowing your phone up in that sort of situation?
What do you want, bro? Like that's all. The question is, what do you want?
I mean,
how would you deal with the question is blowing my phone? Like Kylee can blow up my phone all she wants. She's my girlfriend. She can blow me up all she wants.
Right. Right. I mean, she's not my girlfriend. I do want, you know, I want to like keep her around. I also want her to like be okay with me, you know, having other women in my life. But at the same time, it's like,
well, then you need to express that fully.
Okay.
From the beginning. Yeah. The question is not whether or not she's calling you a bunch. The question is whether or not you're honest about it. You could be dishonest about it, but I mean, it's just going to like, it will hurt you in the long run, just because social media has made it to where like the fuck boys get called out, and you just like lose certain opportunities by doing that. Just be honest. Yeah. The second book for you is to read is called Mate by Joffrey Wilson and Tucker Max. Okay.
Mate, M-A-T-E.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to read Very Important People and Mate.
Jeffrey Wilson. Okay.
It's with a G. Let's spell like Joffrey, but it's Jeffrey.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah. Got it. So, all right, cool. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, check it out. We're already at 6:18. Obviously, the Cowboy playoff game is going on. So I'm going to get to your questions, but we're going to do some speed rounds here. Okay. So guys, please, like one of the things that we need to learn in MOA is we teach you is how to get your question out in 2 sentences. So try to do that. Okay. John Lau, what's your question?
I'll try.
Hey, John, could you do me a favor? Could you ask your question in a Scottish accent? Could you do that for me?
I thought I had a Scottish accent. Did I not?
You know, just do it. So Jonathan's from Detroit, but he's going to do this question in a Scottish accent. Go ahead, John. Ask the question.
All right, cool. I just want to clarify something. That I did watch your podcast, and there's some about, you know, if a girl has a high body count, she's probably not an ideal long-term partner. Is that the same as if like she's an Instagram model, if she has like 500K or 1 million followers? Is that related? Like you shouldn't have a Instagram model as a long-term partner?
So the reason why it's different is because from a hormonal, a neurochemical standpoint, having a bunch of followers is not the same as having a penis inside of you.
So
you don't get the same oxytocin. You get a dopamine hit from seeing the social media stuff. You get oxytocin release from having sexual intercourse. After a while, you had
depends
sexual
on if you have an
intercourse
orgasm or not.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, for sure, same thing. But like the belief would be if she's having that much sex that she's had an orgasm with someone, you know.
Yeah, so there is a connection.
Yeah, so I don't know, John. I don't necessarily think so. Although, like, I gotta be honest with you. Like, for instance, if one of you guys wanted to date Liz. Liz has 4 million followers and gets flown all over the fucking world all the time. That would be pretty difficult to date her. I can see why some of you guys would have a difficult time if you wanted to date her, because she puts her career first, right? So that would make things kind of different. Meanwhile, Katie, she cooks and cleans, and she's just like this good girl who's just like no man is good enough for her. You know, She has a body count like the same year that Jesus was born. 0. And she's afraid of penises.
Hey, Mike, wasn't Jesus born like -8?
Jesus was born in -8. So that's Katie Moore's body count.
Right.
Awesome.
So it's just
I'm a
that.
saint.
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, it's probably if they have that much attention, it's just hard to date that girl.
So that's
saying,
different.
But it's
That
not
makes
that
it.
it's a
That
problem
means it's
for dating her.
That means it's harder, but that doesn't mean she can't like fall for you and be stuck with you. That's different. I don't think that really makes that big of a difference.
But what if it's her
the
body
other guys
count
in
is,
Red
like,
Pill would
massive?
tell you it was.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys in Red Pill would tell you that it would make a difference, but I think the reason why they feel that way is because they can't get girls like that.
Got it, right. So it doesn't matter then, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So last one is just so I'm actually in Corey's group, and I tried one of you kind of advised to post reels all the time, and that is working. Like I'm doing it from business, and some video some videos might not get any watches, but then one video just gets like 1,000 watches and then like 10,000 watches, and it's crazy, and then I get sales from it. But for the brand, for the business, like I don't know if it's a good idea to have reels on the feed, like all over the feed. Like I see that you have that, but should you not be deleting the reels and putting in the reels tab? I think that's what Corey advises anyway. Or should you just leave all the reels on your main feed?
We leave on the reels on the main feed because that's what Shar advised me to do. That's what we've done. It's worked pretty well. I don't think what Corey's saying is wrong though. I've seen both work.
Okay, cool. I just thought maybe you did it because it helped with engagement, but I guess you don't know really. Yeah.
We haven't tested both ways, so I don't know. At first, that's what I was doing.
Isn't that based on your archetype, Mike? That you have a podcast kind of archetype, and so that you kind of have a Brad Lee.
The archetype thing is not. we don't teach that quite as strongly in MOA as Corey does with his program. The archetype thing is more kind of his thing. For me, it's just like access to scarce resources. That's the only thing I care about.
Got it.
It's almost like saying because Joe Rogan does the Joe Rogan experience that he can't post shit of him doing stand-up comedy. Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. People aren't confused. It's not that big of a deal. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you.
Guys, we gotta bang through these. Sean Whalen, what's your question, man? Gotta unmute yourself, buddy.
Thought I hit that. So I help mid-market business owners sell their business without having to pay taxes. My issue right now, I'm at a bit of a crossroads that the other institutions I work with, other M&A firms, basically have a lack of enthusiasm or a sense of urgency in wanting to make money. So my crossroads is whether to just find better people or find some way to motivate them. What do you think as far as the better way to go?
You're trying to get them to motivate them to buy what you're selling?
No, we work together that they prioritize that to want to get deals done and make money. It's an amazing thing working with people selling businesses between like 10 million and 200 million. They have this very kind of blasé attitude about the whole process, and it drives me insane.
Sean, I don't understand who that. So one of the problems we're having right now is you're using so many pronouns. I don't know who they is or who's selling to whom.
So I usually will work with a mergers and acquisitions firm. I have a few of them. They're the ones who are brokering the sellers with the buyers, and then they get a fee or a percentage of that sale. I'm coming in to help them so that instead of losing 30% of that to Uncle Sam in taxes, they're going to be able to keep the whole thing. But because I'm dependent on them doing their part, and they don't seem to have any desire to do it quickly, or that yeah, it's like they're not interested in the outcome.
Who? One more time, Sean. Who's they?
The they is the M&A firms that I'm partnered with.
Okay, there you go, brother.
Yeah,
Sean, that's the thing. Like one of the things I really try to teach guys in MOA is to stop using pronouns. Pronouns make things very confusing for people. When you said they, are they the buyer? Are they the seller? Are they your company? Or are they the M&A firms? And you explain that it was the M&A firms. Got it. Mergers and acquisitions. So you want them to go faster. The reason why they're not going faster is because they're probably making the same amount of money by not going faster. Same reason why the police don't go to the ghetto sometimes. They don't get paid anymore for it, for more dangerous work. You know what I'm saying? When the plumber's getting paid by the hour, he just kind of like doesn't work harder. They're not incentivized to do so. If you can figure out a way to incentivize them, it's not going to be through your motivation. It won't. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? When the referee's not calling defensive pass interference, guess what the defensive backs do? They grab, they hold. They're not incentivized to not do it. Right? And when you get fucking a 15-yard penalty for touching the quarterback, guess what defensive ends don't do? They stop hitting the quarterback. That's what happens. You incentivize people to act. You want to know why, Sean? Because we're monkeys. That's why. We're fucking hairless murder apes. And you give us, you condition us with stimulus. You don't condition us with motivation and psychology. Motivation, literally, when you see all those guys screaming right before kickoff, that exhilaration they feel, it lasts for about 35 seconds. Then it's gone. Then they get hit in the mouth, and then they forget all about it. By the third quarter, they're exhausted.
So is that something that you think that those incentives can be created for them, or is it a matter of just finding the ones?
You have to create those incentives. You have to create those incentives. You have to create those incentives. Why don't you ask Tristan what his yearly salary is?
Yeah, Tristan, you here?
My yearly This is my yearly salary, Sean. Once you ask me what do I make on commissions, 100%. That's where my money comes from. Does that make sense?
So they're getting that too in the form of a success fee or a completion fee, which is why I'm surprised that, if they had faster deal flow, they'd be making more money too. But that somehow, for some reason, that's not their concern, or their.
Then I would identify why that's not their concern.
Oh, right.
I would identify
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Or Sean, I got a great idea. Why don't you pick the baddest motherfuckers from each one of those other companies and build another company called Bad Motherfuckers who get through M&A deals fast? I don't know what that acronym would be.
Right.
But I would make that one Bad Motherfucker M&A. And then you just have the bad motherfuckers who want to get shit through quick. They work in one company and they embarrass the other companies. Why don't you do that? That's something they do in the U.S. military. When you have one boat team that keeps winning, they take the leader from that boat team and put him in the shittiest boat team.
Okay. Yeah. Easier said than done to identify them that way. But yeah. Okay.
Hey, why don't you have an all call with all your employees and say, hey guys, who here would be interested in creating just a separate firm? And this firm is only for the people who want to work the fastest. Do you know how much that would scare those other M&A firms? Wait, he's going to build a firm. Well, yeah. So it's just going to be only incentive based, but we're going to pay you a higher commission fee. And it's only going to be people who want to work and get through M&A situations the fastest. Then all of a sudden they look over to the right and Tom raises his hand like, yeah, I'd like to work for them. Then they're like, fuck, we're not only are we going to lose Tom, our competition is going to be somebody who beats our ass. Let's get to work. Let's go faster.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to create healthy competition and incentive in any workplace.
Yeah, I mean, so it's that age-old problem of, that first grain of sand to get the pearl started. Finding those people who share those values. In this industry that is exceedingly rare.
No, Sean, just ask them. So I know it seems rare, and I understand that it seems rare. That's why you put them. I would have a separate company that's 100% commission based with no salary, and be like,
that's what this is. Yeah, I'm sorry if that wasn't clear before. Yeah, people are only getting paid by their success fee or completion fee, and yet
then in that case, it'd be like, hey guys, we're going to cherry pick people from these different companies, and we're only looking for the ones who make it a priority to get through these M&As faster. Okay, if you're interested in applying for this.
Give them some extra incentive on top of that.
Yeah, the extra incentive is, by the way, they're able to not pay taxes on the comp that they're making by using this structure that I provide. And usually, and they love that in theory.
Buckle down on that.
Okay.
Sean, regardless, like obviously, Katie and I don't work in M&A.
Yeah.
You need to, so I can't give you the specific answer for it. What I am going to tell you, though, is the answer is to incentivize the monkeys to go pick the banana. Okay. How do you incentivize the monkey? You put bananas in front of them. You don't talk to them. They're monkeys. When you start understanding we are descendants of fucking apes. Then you okay, now I know. Just okay, got it.
That's the part
kind of put higher sexual selection and higher status in front of them, and then all of a sudden they do what I want. Oh, interesting how that works. You understand how, dude, like the greatest, dude, being in the Marine Corps is fucking hard as shit. What did the Marine Corps do though? The proud, the Marines. We market this. You have a 10-inch dick in order to join the Marines. You're a fucking badass. Marines are badass. Marines kick ass. Like, do you understand how they market it? Higher sexual selection, higher status. That's how they market the Marine Corps. So do the same thing.
We like Marines.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's a little field specific. I mean, I feel like that's already there. That's the gap I'm having a hard time closing, is that like they should understand that. Yeah.
Do you have the power of just connecting the hard workers with other hard workers? Like surveying them. So here's what I do. Survey everyone.
I'm at a point where find me where the hard workers are. That's
okay,
really
here we go. Hold on, here we go. Here's what you do, Sean. You survey them all anonymously, and you say at the end of the survey, we're considering starting a separate firm where we want to increase speed, and we're looking for people who want to make more money by working faster.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be interested in that? But make sure their other employees are not around when you do this. And what you're going to find is there's going to be a few of them that are willing to do that. Okay. That's what I would consider. By the way, Sean, here's another idea. Say that you're going to make this firm that's going to just try to process M&A faster, and then never actually make the firm. Just scare the shit out of them, let them know you're going to make a firm doing that, and then watch them wake the fuck up and stick a fucking lighter up their ass and put a fire in themselves so they can work faster. Okay.
All right.
Got it?
Yep. Thank you.
Beautiful, man. Hannigan, what's your question, brother? Scott.
Hey, what's up, Mike? So I'm going to be quick on this because I was thinking about your previous thing that you said, that what it is that the problem that you're solving. And I just want to have you check me on this quick. And Tristan, if you want to check me out too, that'd be awesome. Really appreciate you guys. So the problem that I'm solving is to find premium footwear and leather goods to accommodate my clients long-term. And the problem that I'm solving is to increase business for my store and myself and my team by providing clients like white glove treatment, and focusing on solutions to how I can also incentivize them and to build a rewarding client base long-term.
Man, that was really generic, bro. Like you were just kind of putting us to sleep there for a second, Scott. Scott, it needs like a little bit more specific and a little bit more exciting.
I hear you. So specific and exciting.
I mean, that's the main thing from the mission statement that you were giving us there. Like I didn't like, you just like, listen, okay, here, let me explain. Ready? I want my customers to feel better about myself and my company by giving them a better experience where they feel good all the time and they feel good. That's what you just sound like to us.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? I want higher
100%.
satisfaction from the customers because we're doing better things. No, you're listening to me like I'm being serious. I'm fucking kidding, Scott. It's a joke. I want better satisfaction for my customers by working harder and doing better so that they feel good about themselves and they feel good, better, and rub their tummy and feel good about themselves. That's what you sound like. Do you understand?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So
right, Scott?
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, I definitely need to go back to work on that for sure. Just because like that, just after hearing that does sound a little bit more on the generic side.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. That's what does it mean, man? That's the thing. I don't really grasp what it means. You want to, okay. So here's the other thing. What's the problem you're solving? You want to get luxury items on your clients' feet, in their hands, right? You know who else wants to do that? Everyone. Every luxury shop in Dubai. And how are you different, bro? Why would I go get it from you than just go to Rodeo Drive? It doesn't, I don't understand, Scott. You're not why is this any different? Why is mine different? I use an evidence-based approach using evolutionary psychology to explain networking. That's why my program is different. No one's just willing to read the books. No one's willing to apply the information. No one's willing to interview the professors except me. So that's why my program is different. And at the same time, here's a program where we have a bunch of guys who are interested in meeting women. And I had women on the call. Oh my God. Because what usually happens with pickup, girl walks in, everybody be quiet. There's a girl here. Don't give her the pickup. She finds out the pickup secrets that we're using. We don't do that. We're different. Do you see why I'm different? I don't understand how you're different. first off, Scott, I don't understand what you're trying to do because you're very vague. And number two, I don't understand why I don't just go to Saks Fifth Avenue.
Right.
Can you go back and work on that, and then we can get back to me some other time, maybe tomorrow?
For sure.
All right, brother. Love it. Daxis, what's the question?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So this question is for the girls, and Michael, sort of you as well. What kind of male influencer archetypes do you follow on social media? Like what kind of guys, like not what kind of guys, but like what professions, what like obviously the model, promoter, DJ, like archetypes, but like, do you have any vloggers or any type of people like whose content you personally like, or you connect with, or you enjoy that you know, is
Kylee,
That's
answer,
kind of,
Katie?
pardon me? I mean, like, that's kind of difficult because a lot of the stuff that I watch, like on the internet is like purely entertainment value. Like I'm not necessarily getting a lot of, like a lot of the guys that I listen to are probably the same guys that you listen to, in terms of like, when I want to learn things. When I'm like just listening to things to listen to them, it's just like a bunch of bullshit or like memes and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you usually like in like content, like do you usually consume like just stuff you can listen to in the background, like podcasts, or do you ever like watch like
Yeah,
vlogs
I
or
listen
any type
to a
of...
lot of podcasts, but it's more like conversational than necessarily educational. And I know a lot of people are, especially Michael, are all about the like, why are you doing that unless it's being beneficial to you? But I actually find that stuff kind of very calming to listen to. Just in the background while I'm doing other things in the house, and it's not it's just so there's a podcast called Smartless. I don't know if you've ever heard about it, and it's Will Arnett and what is his name, Will Arnett, Jason Bateman and Sean Hayes. And they like surprise each other each time by bringing on like a surprise guest and surprise the other two people. And it's just like this really good banter between these three guys, like a gay guy, Will Arnett, who's like this like guy, and then Jason Bateman, who's just funny haha guy. So it's just I like watching different dynamics of people getting together and that kind of thing. But that's just in my spare time. Most of the other time I'm just like probably watching the same stuff you are, like
like you watch like Joe Rogan? Like that's kind of what I like.
I mean, yeah, Joe Rogan. I don't usually lately I've been having audiobooks going in the background. But
because basically the reason I ask for you and Michael, this is for like you as well. I'm wondering like what kind of, you know, obviously you can follow any chick because like the girl, but like for like dudes, they usually have to bring something of value for you to follow them or you to bother with them. The reason I'm asking is I'm trying to figure out like a universal way to like entertain, or a universal way to basically attract and like something that works for everyone. Something that's, what was the word? I'm gonna fuck
ubiquitous.
it up. Ubiquitous. Jesus. Yeah, exactly. That's for
so there's this guy who's kind of been popping off that I've known for years. I've known him for like maybe 3 or 4 years, and he goes by Confidence Chris now. And I see people on YouTube doing like this guy's so cringe, da 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 da. But he's gotten so good at what he does. He's an attractive guy, and he does his own mentoring thing. Like I don't know if it's good or not, but he does a lot of TikTok content, and women love it and men love it. Okay. Even though it's like pretty friggin' cringy sometimes. I mean, it works.
Okay. All right, Michael, what about yourself?
People like the shock value. What is it? Like the first 3 seconds you have to draw somebody's attention or else they're going to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the basis of everything.
All right. Well, Kylie's not here, so I don't think she can answer this. But the thing is, you know what I listen to? Like I just evolutionary psychologist, a podcast that helped me grow, and then books, mainly books more than podcasts. Honestly, that's what I go through. People with PhDs, I like to listen to them. I like to listen to people who are extremely successful. That's the main thing.
Okay.
So this is the big difference between men and women. Women like this is the reason why women listen to like serial killer documentaries and like weird shit like that. Is because I find women like to occupy their mind with other things. For not all women, like I like to be learning a lot of the time as well.
That actually has to do with like prevention from being assaulted. That's an evolution.
Well, not always. Like
that's why women.
I can watch the most random thing, Michael. I can watch the most random shit.
The reason why women have a fascination with those kind of serial killers is because it's an evolution adaptation to study how to not end up being put in that position.
Okay, well then I end up in a YouTube hole watching like capybaras.
Like, beautiful.
Tell me where that comes from.
That's just different. That's just curiosity. All right, hey, listen, Dax, does that answer your question? I really got to get through these fast. All right, so thank you, Mark. Mark, what's your question? Mark Munier. Okay, cool. Haysam Ali, what's your question?
Actually, it's
go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Actually, it's pronounced Murnier, like the sauce you put on fish dinners.
Okay.
And my question is, what if you have a history of being super vulnerable, like in college? Like I'm 42 now. Women didn't want to sleep with me because they're interested in hookups. They were interested in me co-signing their car loans.
Oh, you're watching it too?
Have gone on from there my entire life.
I was gonna say like
you users.
Sorry.
So you're saying the women are just trying to use you for car loans?
For money. I get women attract. I get everybody that's I come in contact with that's attracted to me wants to use me for cash, even though that I don't advertise if I have or don't have any.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it sucks, man. It's really bad. That's why I'm dating Kylee, because she has all the money. Don't tell her. She's not all right now, so she's not gonna say anything about it, but that's why generally. She's gonna work at EBC.
Oh, that's obvious.
She's gonna work at EBC, so she's gonna take care of me.
Yep.
She's like, I want a prenup. I make too much. She goes, I want a prenup. I make too much money, baby. Mark, it's tough. You just need a lot. Like in your situation, it's always going to be like that. One of the things is what's good is that you don't lead with money. And so if you lead with money, you kind of always have to lead with money and it becomes difficult. So my advice to you is when you get to that point, then just say no, just have a bound. But guys, I'm going to tell you something. You want to take something from this entire thing. By the way, the whole point of this call, I was going to talk about people not snitching on themselves and we never got to that. So we'll talk about that next time. But the thing, Mark, is that if you build a boundary around yourself, like just say, this is the type of behavior I'm going to accept within the boundary, and this is the type of behavior I will not accept within the boundary. You become so fucking attractive to people, not just women.
That's what I've started doing.
Yeah, and that should work. Just setting a boundary, being like, hey man, that sounds like a great idea you have. That idea is not gonna happen in my house.
Yeah, thanks.
That makes sense.
Well, I think he's got it. I'm gonna hop in. Are you there, bro? Mark, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, we can't hear Mark right now. Okay, so let's go. Haysam, what's the question?
Yeah. So I started a coaching side business a couple months ago where I teach young entrepreneurs how to move and speak with purpose and how to sell. I'm creating a lead magnet and I've never done it before. And I'm trying to choose a topic and I'm trying to figure out if it's a PDF, video series. How should I go about this?
I don't understand what the thing you're selling is. One more time.
Right. I'm selling a coaching service where I teach people to speak confidently, public speaking, networking, and how to sell inbound.
So I would, so let's do organic and paid. That's where I would start. And then eventually affiliate. So I would start organic, use social media platforms to show irrefutable evidence that you could get people to speak. So it's going to be before and afters, and then it's going to be you in front of groups of people speaking. If you could get some way where you're speaking in front of a group of people to show irrefutable visual evidence of your success, that'd be the first thing. Okay. Secondly, when you speak, this is one of the things that's very much inception. When you speak on the course, do you sound like someone I want to learn from?
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Like I'm exhausted. I had like no sleep, but definitely for sure.
Okay, that's cool. And then number 3, the third one is then get into paid advertisement. Then you need to come up with something that's just bang, 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 bang. that gets people's attention very quickly. And then once you do that, then try to run ads. You're gonna like what James Swanwick said about Ty Lopez. I'm always testing. We tested about 13 different ads till we came up with the one now that gets us ridiculous returns. Got it?
Perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
That's what I do. Awesome, brother. Woody, what's your question?
All right, yo. Just to be quick. So this was on the topic of the girl that's kind of like blowing my phone up. The question I asked before, I don't think I was as specific as I should have been. So to reiterate my question is, how would you go about setting those boundaries with her when I'm not okay with her blowing my phone up? And like, what are maybe 3 things that you would say to let her know that it's not okay to cross those boundaries? And maybe, Katie, you can give some opinion on like what you would like to hear. I'm sure you're not blowing guys.
Is this some passive aggressive thing? Is Katie actually the one who's blowing up your phone? Is that what's going on here?
Actually, yeah. Sorry,
Sure.
I didn't want to expose this,
Okay,
Katie.
so Woody, it's going to sound crazy, but the answer is always the simple answer. You tell her this is not appropriate.
Okay. All right.
You don't. I'm telling you, man, guys. Ready, Woody? This is the main thing. Somebody else recommended this for you in the chat. It's correct. Start the book. Start with why, and the book Crucial Conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. You gave me the whole list of the books. That's one of them on there. So.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When you need to write this down, however you need to remember this. When you avoid confrontation, you create conflict.
Okay.
People think confrontation is conflict. It's not. When you avoid confrontation, when you're a beta soy boy cuck bitch who can't fucking face his own problems, when you avoid confrontation, you create conflict. When you go to confrontation, when you accept confrontation, you avoid conflict.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, communication is always the best option.
Most TV shows are interesting and the drama starts. If you go watch most TV shows, it's because there's a lack of communication, a misunderstanding between the husband and wife, or a misunderstanding between the 2 brothers that are fighting with each other, or misunderstanding, like whatever it is. It's like instead of like clear communication, no one talks, and then there's a huge fight. Okay.
It's always oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna upset this person, so I don't want to bring it up. I actually have a really good example recently. I'll go really quick. My father had something that he wanted to go to the hospital for. Talked to me about it because he was at my apartment, didn't tell my mom that he was going. I hung out with my mom later that day and I said, oh, did he get back to you? Blah, 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 blah. And then they get in a whole fight about that. Like very simple. Like you just need to like be blatant and open and honest with your intentions and what you want from the get-go. And if she can't deal with that, then you got to drop it.
Hey, here, I'll do it right now, Woody. Hey, Kylee, I'm sorry. I don't want to dress up like furries for Valentine's Day. I just want to go ahead and cut this off at the past now. I don't want to dress up like a furry. I don't. Okay?
All right.
Do you understand? I hope this doesn't affect our relationship, but I don't want to dress up like a furry. Okay, good. You got it, Woody?
Yeah, I got it, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Deal with the problem up front.
I don't know what that is.
Will somebody send Kylee some furry porno, like a furry porn video?
Nah.
No, please don't. I'm okay, actually. I'm really okay.
Babe, just imagine people in like those mascot like suits of like bears and tigers or whatever, having sex with them while they're in the suits, having sex with each other. It's great, dude. All the fucking Legionnaire's disease that gets in the fucking fur. It's so sexy. All right. Thanks, Woody.
Appreciate you, bro.
One more thing before we keep going. Hey guys, if you are in Men of Action right now, can you put MOA in the chat? If you are in Men of Action right now, that includes Katie, that includes Kylee. If you guys are in Men of Action right now, can you put MOA in the chat for me? Cool. There's one of you in MOA, really? There's nobody else? Is anybody else? Is there anybody else in MOA? There we go. Cool. If you're in MOA, got a group interview tomorrow. Beautiful. MOA bitches. I love it. Okay. If you're not in MOA, there we go. Good. Put an MOA here for the culture. If you're not in MOA, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not in the Men of Action right now, if you're not in the Men of Action. If you're not in Men of Action, put a 1 in the chat, guys. I mean, Sean, obviously you get ROI. Sean, you consume more of my content than anyone in MOA. You can get a ton of content, ROI from fucking MOA. It's crazy. All right, guys, check it out. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to that link right there. You don't have to schedule a call, but I want you to just go check it out and then see if this is what you want. You guys, Sean, especially for you, dude, you've got to go through the testimonials. Go through the testimonials and then ask if you can find an ROI. I know you can. I'm not, there's no confusion for me at all. Now you have her scared for her life by making her look for up furries. It's hilarious. So listen, guys, I want you to go there. But here's the thing. I want you to take your skepticism with you. I want you to take your belief that this program isn't for you. I want you to take that with you, fully embrace it. And then I want you to go and look at all 50 testimonials on there. Okay. And then I also want you to go on the Discord server and I want you to look at all the different people on there that have changed their life. They posted on their social media and the effects that's had on their life. Also, I want you to talk to other people in MOA, have a conversation with them on the Discord server. No one's off limits because we don't have any bad reviews. None. Okay. I want you to take your skepticism and I want you to bash it up against reality. Look at the testimonials, look at all the other stuff that's on there. Look at the Instagram or look at the Instagram testimonials. And then additionally, go and look at the book list, all the other stuff that we have on there. And then all the content in the program. The content, I believe we're over 1,100 hours of content in MOA. If I got hit by a bus tomorrow, it would take you over a year to get through everything. And we add 11 hours of content in every week to Men of Action. That's how dedicated we are to the program.
6 months at double speed.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it at double speed. Exactly. All right, guys. Beautiful. Make sure you guys click that. Also, you see the guys put the affiliate code in here. Yeah, the furries. This one does. Oh, he's got furries in that one. Awesome. Hey, guys, we will see all of you. For those of you who are on the Monday call and you're not in MOA, we'll be back in 2 weeks. For those of you who are interested in Access Vegas, we will be back on the 26th. We're going to do another Access Vegas. I'm also going to do Rule Zero next Saturday. Any of you guys who watch Rule Zero, on the 30th, I'm going to do a show in Dallas with Rusland and Tori Grow, myself on Purple Pill Radio in Dallas, Texas. And then also on the, I will be in Scottsdale for the Super Bowl. I'm staying with Cole Gordon and I'm throwing either 2 or 4 parties. I don't know how many parties I'm going to be throwing during. If you're in Scottsdale for Super Bowl weekend, I'll be there as well. So just make sure you check us out. For those of you who are in MOA, you guys know we have the three Babes in Toylands that are coming up. We have 2 more Babes and Ballers coming up. We have 1 Babes in Toyland in Miami, and then we're probably going to do one in Vegas. Steve Fowler will be here on Thursday to discuss the one we're going to do here in Vegas. Additionally, you guys know we have Swimsuit USA. We also have Paradise Challenge. There's another Paradise Challenge that's going to be in the Philippines. That's going to be a Paradise Challenge Open that I may or may not be going to. I have not made up my mind yet. So there's that. And then also for the rest of you, there's all the teatro parties that go on too. So for you guys are in MOA, you guys know we have like 20, 30 events coming up this year. So get ready, hold on to your dicks. It's going to be a wild time. For those of you not in MOA, you guys can still join the Discord server. We have conversations in there. There's a ton of free stuff in the Discord server. We have a book list we'd love for you guys to check out, and absolutely check out the Instagram testimonials. These are people's Instagrams that they change their Instagrams based on the confines of what we explain to them, showing access to scarce resources. And if you say, no, Michael, but I'm a short Asian man. Well, we got a short Asian man testimonial. No, Michael, but I'm a black dude and I only date white girls. Well, we got a black dude who dates white girls testimonial. No, Michael, but I'm Indian. No, we got plenty of Indian testimonials. What you're going to do is go to the social media section in the Discord server. And when you go in the social media section, you're going to click up at the top where it says pinned, and it's going to show Instagram testimonials. Check out all 25 of those Instagram testimonials, and then see how skeptical you are after that. Okay. Awesome. Where's Mohit? Shout out to Mohit. That's what I'm saying. Stat, this awesome. All right, guys.